videos. These are videos. You can hear, you can watch, you can see him. He's whispering into the girls' ears and he's playing with their hair. Like, it's really inappropriate. These are strange kids that are getting their photo taken with him.
And they're really uncomfortable. So you're advocating child molestation right now, just so you know.
Guys. That's scale.
Now that's an exaggeration.
No, it's not, because that is molestation.
There's no need to suggest that.
That is not. That is exactly what molestation is. Look it up. He's a molester on camera. He's a molester on camera. Look it up.
And tell him
Look
smell
it up and watch him, and then
dude, you're defending the creepiest shit right now.
Molestation on camera. Molestation.
Literally grabbing someone by the pussy is molesting.
But
they both are.
Have you ever seen Trump grab somebody by the pussy? Have you?
Yeah. Yep. Have you ever seen it?
There's 24 women who claim he has.
They were all proven to be lying.
No, they're not.
They're all proven anything, right?
They have not been proven anything because they
do we have video evidence of it though?
Do we have video evidence of this woman with vote fraud?
No, do we have video evidence of it though? You can't.
Let's take
You're diverting. You're diverting.
Their sworn testimony. It's just as equal as the sworn testimony of that lady.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about we're talking about right. No, we're talking about comparing. No, we're talking about comparing the acts of Trump and Biden, and you try to divert away to the election.
We're talking what you accept for evidence in one case, you don't in the other.
No, again, what I'm saying is we actually do have video evidence against Biden. That's the point.
Oh, we have, well, guys. At the end of the day, everything we're talking about is alleged or accusatory.
Not really.
So it's like we none of us can.
No, we have video.
We have video evidence.
How's it accusatory? We have video evidence, and that's something you guys would accept. But I don't see why this gentleman. Let me finish. This gentleman that is defending him. Let me finish, Kosho. This gentleman that I really like in this channel right now, that's defending these politicians kissing babies. It's not that. It's extreme. It's extreme. And this footage is available on the CNN. It's when they were sworn in and they were having all the photographs taken. There is a compilation of that exact day, and you can see it is literal molestation. It is. You can watch it for yourself.
Would anybody on this panel let Joe Biden or another man touch their daughter and rub their hair and whisper?
I wouldn't do that. I'm sure if the kids felt that way or the parent felt that way, so they would have to. By saying that snipping some kid's hair or kissing them on the cheek is sexual molestation. It is not. Okay? Every child has been sexually molested.
Oh my God. You haven't even looked at what we're trying to say to you. You won't even look at it. You're just defending a creep.
Would you let
I have one. She's 20 years old. I have one. She's 20.
Would you let me?
You want to let Joe Biden near her?
Look at him groping that kid right there. Hey, ask him. Do you defend that right there? You defend that right there, where he's groping that kid right there? You think there's nothing wrong with that?
When you take
I think there's something wrong with it, but that doesn't mean that it has to be the extent to what you guys said it was. It's creepy. I wouldn't let my kids around him.
That looks fake.
It could very well be something gross, but we're assigning it already as something gross. Like you're accusing somebody in here as standing up for pedophilia, right? Saying that it's not that bad. And that's not right to do.
You're a liar, Kosho, because it's molestation and it's on camera and it is literal molestation. Look at what he is doing. This is not okay. If you did this in my country, the police would knock on your fucking door. It's because he was the vice president that this was accepted. These people,
even the babies have to duck him.
How do you know that the circumstances are not different and that thing is taken out of context?
The little girls are forced to stand up there and not move and smile, right, for the camera.
Look at the quiet. No, they're all freaking out. They're not smiling. They're ducking away from them, freaking out. Look at 608's. The quiet noobs posted. Tell me that he's not grabbing her boob right there. And tell me how that's not okay. How that's okay. Please enlighten me how that's okay.
Yeah, it says the image shows Maggie Kuhn, the daughter of Senator Chris Kuhn of Delaware, during her father's swearing-in ceremony in January 2015. After the clip went viral, Senator Kuhn, a Democrat, told Fox News host Chris Wallace that Biden was simply offering her reassurance and that his daughter didn't think he was creepy. Kuhn said that Biden, who held Kuhn's Senate seat before reassigning to serve as vice president, had known his children their whole lives. I could hear him.
Why is he having a comment on him being creepy? Why is he even having a comment on
leaning forward and whispering some encouragement to her about how he...
Dude, he's grabbing her chest. We're sitting here watching it.
She felt awkward and uncomfortable.
There's no doubt that it's creepy. There's no doubt that it's creepy.
What you call molestation.
It's assigning all the extra stuff to it as if it were a fact is kind of stretched too far, but it's definitely creepy. It definitely looks like something, but we're all talking like we know what it is.
It is the very definition of molestation. That's what it is. Okay,
really
look up what molestation is. It is.
He put his hand on a little girl's chest.
Hang on, can I make a point? I'll tell you why I think it's not. Because you don't have a complaint of molestation. You have it. You have.
Okay, so these little kids.
Listen, hold on. You say you have a video of it, but you don't have any
videos.
Because the parents support Biden.
Yeah, that's what we want to say. These parents will do anything to get a picture with this man. And the molestation, if these children are going to their parents and saying, I feel uncomfortable, he's touching me too much, he's sniffing me, he's touching around my chest, mummy. What are they going to do? They just supported him and paid the campaign to get these guys in. Please look at the footage, please.
Look, I looked at the footage, but the footage is not a complaint, I'm afraid. It can be taken either way, I think. And
it's just evidence. Yeah, it's not a complaint. It's just evidence.
What a shocker!
It would be if someone had made a complaint of that.
I haven't been here in months. I come in and Gem Panda is defending a pedophile. What a shocker!
Yeah. Oh, look, he grabbed a little girl's chest. That's no big deal because the little girl didn't. But listen, what you're saying is that since there isn't a report filed, but the little girl can't file a report, she's up to her parents. Her parents didn't file the report. They're Joe Biden fans. They went and took pictures with them. They thought it was a big deal. So the little girl, super uncomfortable, doesn't know what's going on, super lost and innocent, defenseless, should be protected against that bullshit.
The difference between what you're doing and what I'm doing, guys, there's people here saying that it's not. I'm not even saying it is or it isn't that. I'm not making a claim because what you and what somebody else in here are saying about it is that as if it's a fact that these things are occurring in the way that it's that you're seeing it in your head, and that's probably not the right direction to come from. It's probably correct to say you can suggest it like, okay, that looks creepy, that's gross. I wouldn't let my kids around him. He might be doing something creepy, but to make the accusations that it is what it looks like it is probably not the position, at least.
Kosho, if you had a daughter and I did the same thing to your daughter and you filed a criminal complaint against me, the court...
Yeah, I feel like when I say things, people don't hear the words I say. Would be called, it looks creepy. It is creepy. I will not let my kids around this guy. He looks like his hands are moving creepy. He's a creepy... Everything about it is creepy. I said this already. What I'm saying is, about the way you not agreeing with is the extension of what you guys are saying. He's definitely doing.
Posting those pictures and acting like he's some kind of upstanding person in this chat, Dress. You've lost all credibility now.
Oh, this is wild.
No. Check. Listen, no, let me speak. Check out You Pinged Me. Check my YouTube channel out. I have got women on the record voicing that they were raped by Donald Trump as well. I claim Donald Trump is just as bad as Joe Biden. They are both as evil as each other.
That's his daughter. Has she ever claimed that?
I am talking about women on my channel. You can go and listen to their interviews and hear what they say about Donald Trump molesting children, okay? And commenting about these children he molested as reminding him of his daughter. You need to look at both sides of this. I don't like either of them. They're both creepy.
Like Tim said, there's no accusations that Biden has molested children. No one's made an accusation that he's molested children. Just because they're on stage and he's giving some young child, probably a friend of the family, some reassurance. The claim that these kids are strangers, that's bollocks right there, because as you just learned, he's a senator. Biden knows these people. Disgusting. He knows the family.
Yeah, you please keep justifying groping little girls' chests, please.
Like I said, I don't think that it's it doesn't look right.
That's the whole
right. So I'm not going to make any claims either way.
So maybe we
imagine defending this depravity.
Too much.
Well, I mean,
no wonder you people think the Earth's a ball.
He's touching her arm and shoulder, not her.
He
her
moves
chest.
it over to her chest.
He's not even looking at her. He's talking to someone else.
Yeah, because he's feeling her.
More than likely, he had his hand on her shoulder so he could keep her in the shot. Because kids fidget around. And then she moves, and it looks like his arm is in his hand is in an inappropriate.
Wow.
He's not even looking at her.
What do you think? Can we change the subject?
Yeah, let's just change the subject. This is why you people think the Earth's a globe. You promote depravity. You can't adhere to objective morality. So.
Do you have any daughters? Witsit, do you have any daughters? Witsit, do you have any daughters?
No, and I would beat the shit out of someone that did this to my little sister. If someone did this to my little sister, they would die.
Do you know any parents of daughters?
Yeah, my parents.
And have you seen them hug their infant children?
Well, too bad that I've never seen them go grab someone else's.
Have you seen them hug their infant children?
That's not his child, dumbass.
They're not his children. Joe Biden doesn't know these children. These are the campaign supporters that wanted their pictures taken with him.
What an idiot.
Campaign supporters. They're senators. They're senators.
Okay, you just asked me if I saw someone hug their child. He's grabbing people that aren't his child.
All their lives, okay? They're family friends.
You people are Y'all are disgusting pieces of shit.
I'm going to change the mood a little bit.
It would really be nice if people stopped shouting.
This is staggering level of depravity in this room. I didn't expect this.
Hold on.
You're a sick fuck. You're a total sick fuck. And you think that...
Address that person. Don't blame everybody in the room.
Do not do that again. No one in this room has done anything depraved.
Yeah,
Do
you have your
Do not say that again.
Somebody said everybody in the room, like everyone has the same sentiments as like one person has. That's not cool, dude. But regardless,
that's a straw man. That's a straw man because it's not his daughter.
No, it's it's the standard tactic when and we see this every day. It's happening to me as we speak from Flat Earth Subgenius, where you get to accuse anyone you like of being a child molester, and when someone says, hold on a minute, it's a friend of the family, he's just whispering in something, encouragement in her ear. As soon as someone says that, they're defending paedophiles, and then, shut up, and then they're depraved. The level of depravity Witsit is talking about. How dare he? And this is hold on.
I'm not allowed to hug the friend of a family. Someone's daughter, a friend of someone. I'm not allowed to hug them.
This is a standard tactic that we see all the time, and I'm really tired of it.
No, I'm not attacking anybody in this room. I wouldn't ever say that, ever. I'm not attacking anybody in this room, guys.
If you want to accuse someone of being a child molester, then you've got to accept challenges to that accusation. If it's not being made by the police or an authority, then you've got to accept challenges to that without calling the people that make those challenges paedophiles.
Because they're the standard, aren't they, Jim?
If you said someone was a bank robber that wasn't, and I said, hold on a minute, where's your evidence that this person's a bank robber? Or I dispute your evidence that this person's a bank robber. It doesn't make me a bank robber. And it's a sad tactic to try and pretend that it does.
Okay, now this is the problem, dude. This is the thing. The first
you robbing banks, and then you deny that you robbed the banks, but we say you're a bank robber. Does that make us wrong? There's video of you robbing.
Look, let me say something. The guy that first jumped in defending it, Jim. I agree. I shouldn't have just said like depravity as a holistic thing, okay? But the guy that first jumped in and said it.
No one here is depraved. No one's done anything depraved here. No one.
Okay, are you going to stop interrupting?
No one gets accused of that.
You muted me to go on your monologue. Do I get to respond to it now?
No.
No, so you just get to mute me. And
not if you're going to call anyone here depraved. No, you don't.
I just now tried to be the bigger person that you've never done in your whole life and say I shouldn't have said that.
And move on.
You retracted it from everyone but one person.
I'm going to respond now. So the first guy jumped in and he contended it, but he had never even seen the videos yet. Imagine being that guy.
I have friends with the family. Like your guys
fucking defending depravity. He didn't even see the videos.
That guy's name is no name. In case you wanted to refer to him.
Why don't we just stop talking about this?
He said he had seen the videos.
No, he said he hadn't.
With it, why don't we just stop? This is not
okay. Yeah, whatever. Let's move on. This is why y'all think you live on a magic spinning cartoon ball filled with water, covered with water.
I want Witsit to tell me that it's creepy for me to hug an infant. A 5-year-old friend's daughter.
TT, we're gonna move on from this because it's.
Witsit, you're a slimy prick.
I'm slimy for standing up for the child.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stand up for the child. How am I a prick?
Oh, I think that was fair.
If someone hugs a 6-year-old, they're creepy.
No, if someone grabs their chest, they're creepy. Yeah.
Let's move on.
Then we can move on.
Fucking moron.
Actually mean. I had a funny story to tell. I can't even tell anymore because it's slightly related to that conversation. But it's funny.
Anyway. You don't even have to do that. You don't even have to do that, TT. All you have to do is use the word children in the name of a Discord server. That's all. That's all that's required. Sorry, but I've felt like
I know. I just don't understand. We're all grown-ups, I think.
Yeah, no. All right.
Scott, why do you say it was really funny?
All right, so the Earth is spherical.
I love that thing that
no, it's
Dr.
not.
Iris posted. I want one of those. Did you see
the Earth is not spherical.
I love that picture. What are those things called?
The one with the rat?
No,
the pendulum.
Dr. Iris posted. No, it's not a pendulum.
Well, it's a bunch of pendulums.
Is this still going out live on YouTube?
Yeah.
No. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, those are called Newton's
cradle.
Oh, yeah. We should all get those with little earths on them. I like that.
Oh, yeah, I have a regular one.
Little fake globe earths, yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, the claim that defies physics, that there's a magic spinning cartoon ball where water bends convexly.
I'll get you one for Christmas.
Imagine thinking that a water ball spins in a vacuum and that we're dumb for not believing it without evidence.
You're so
Imagine
weird,
that.
Dude.
I'm weird because you just believe whatever the authorities told you to believe.
Weird is the way you phrase things like that.
Yeah, it's a magic spinning cartoon ball where water bends around the outside of it convexly and it's in a vacuum.
It all works out.
I've seen the photos, man. I've seen the photos.
No, you've seen cartoons.
I've seen the photos.
You've seen
the photos.
One point at a time.
They're not real photos.
Imagine all that straw you have for that straw man. I mean, you must be really in fear of fire.
Wait, how did that straw man? Your model claims that the water bends convexly around the outside of a sphere in a vacuum. That's what your model claims.
No,
I've seen the genuine photos. I've seen the photos that are absolutely proved to be genuine. So yes.
Okay, so you think that the government showed you a picture, and that means that you know it's true.
They didn't just
show me a picture. No,
thousands of hours of video.
Sunlight showed me a picture.
Actually, they admit that they're just composites.
No, some of them are composites.
No, they don't.
Not all of them. Not even a long shot are all of them composites.
Which ones aren't composite?
A huge number of them are completely single shot, full images of the entire hemisphere.
Yeah, and your dad went to space, a medium that couldn't exist, Scott. Yeah, we get it. You're biased. You have an emotional connection. We get it.
The medium can't exist. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures that are not composites. NASA,
wow.
do a one-shot photo that's true, but it can still be fake.
Hold on, Lemon.
Like, I can put a bunch
Lemon, I was in the middle of saying something, please. The fact that you guys would still at this point that you've been this long and you don't know that there are photos that are not composites, just by point of fact, like NASA says these ones are composites.
It's not a fact.
Yep. Hold on, and then they say these ones are not composites. Now, so you would have to be, somehow providing evidence that these actually were composites and NASA was lying. But they clearly
they need to provide evidence that they're not lying.
They clearly demarcate which ones are composites and which ones
but they need to provide evidence that they're not lying.
Thousands shots of the Earth that are not composites.
But they need to provide the evidence that they're factual, dude. We don't need to go prove. You just said we need to prove that they're composite images. What the fuck? They need to prove that they're real pictures, dude.
I can prove that one of them is real.
Where's the 24/7 live stream of the orthographic view of the Earth?
Let me
2020.
reply to what you just said, Winston. Let me reply without you interrupting. The only reason why you think that they're composites in the first place is because NASA told you that they're composites. You're taking their word for that. So why in the world would you not take their word when they say these over here are not composites?
Okay, my point was that they openly admit that most of them are composites.
They tell you which ones are composites.
Of course, they're going to claim some of them are real. They claim the picture from 1972 is real.
So
I don't believe governmental agencies blindly like you people do. And Scott, you proved earlier that you blindly believe the government. You proved it to everybody.
There are ones being taken every day, every single day, thousands of them total now, that are completely single shots of the entire Earth. NASA tells us that a satellite is automatically.
Oh,
it's called the Epic Discovery.
A NASA satellite.
It's at Lagrange Point 1, which is about a million miles away, and it takes a single shot about, I think, every 12 minutes or something like that.
Okay, so why can't we have something float out just a little bit past Earth and then give us a 24/7 live stream of the Earth in entirety? Why don't we get that?
The ISS was doing that for.
The ISS does not show the Earth in entirety, Scott.
Well, because you have to get far enough away to see the.
Okay, so why in 2020 can we not send? If we can send something a million miles away, then why can't we send something just a few miles away where it can see the entire orthographic view and then live stream it?
You have the Discovery satellites. We have a whole range of fucking stuff.
Why can't we get a 24/7 live stream of the Earth?
Well, we have a photo every 12 minutes. It is real. 24/7. Hold on.
Why can't we get a live stream of a 24/7 view of the Earth? It's 2020.
How is 12 minutes a shot?
It's one frame every 10 minutes. I think.
That's not 24/7 live stream.
That's a live stream of one frame every 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh! Imagine being.
Scott, don't be a gamma. Step up.
No,
why are you
I'm not gonna fight in order to have a fight. Like, it's stupid.
What's stupid is that y'all can't just admit that it doesn't exist. Y'all trying to say that pictures are live stream footage.
If you would stop interrupting, why would you? Russ would stop interrupting, then I have plenty to say about it. But we'll just.
There's no 24/7 live stream of the Earth. That's a fact.
Oh,
it has been.
No, there hasn't though.
Yes, there has. No.
Okay, what's the 24/7 live stream of the Earth in entirety? What is it?
Echo Star 11 broadcast a live video of the Earth for I think it was 9 years or something like that.
Oh yeah, did they?
Yes.
Was it? And then they said it wasn't composite and that it was real.
No, it's just a video. It was just a video camera shoved on a TV satellite as a last minute thing that they decided to do.
What altitude?
Listen. They had a TV channel that, as part of that satellite system, one of your channels was this live stream of the Earth. You can still find. You can laugh, but you can still find little clips of it on YouTube. Just search Echo Star 11.
Oh my God! So, what was the altitude? It's true, Twit. The government told us there were pictures of Earth. It's true. It's true that the Earth defies physics because the government never lies to us about anything, huh?
Jim is not the government, dickhead.
It was a private.
Okay, what altitude was it at?
I don't know. I'll find out.
Oh, so it wasn't even as high as the ISS.
Hold a minute. Listen, until 30 seconds ago, you'd never even heard of it.
I'm asking you what the altitude was.
Look it up.
Find out. Let's find out.
Well, if it's not further than the ISS, it can't show the full Earth, can it?
It did show the full Earth. It did show the full Earth. It did.
Is that what y'all's entire worldview is dependent upon? Images from the fucking government that's lied to us ever since. So we falsified the radius. They can't make any claims that are contrary to natural law. They have no physical evidence. But since the government showed us a picture, we can throw all the other physical empirical evidence that we can actually verify.
You can hear how desperate you sound right now.
I'm desperate because I don't believe in the fucking government.
You're screaming at the top of your lungs.
I know. First of all, it isn't a government satellite. It's a private TV satellite. And I know it showed the whole Earth because it showed the whole Earth. Now just calm down.
Like 22,000 miles. The rest of the
like it's so funny that you people think that we're dumb and the only evidence you have is supposed images from space. That makes you people stupid. Hey, guess what? That makes y'all stupid.
The specific evidence that you were demanding was a live stream of the Earth from space. When I give you a live stream of the Earth from space, you say, "Oh, it's pictures. You believe pictures? You specifically claimed pictures. That was what you required for belief. So don't. Thank you.
That's not what I require for belief, but you'll cut me off again and mute me again for the 5th time.
What you
already cut me off, Jim.
Oh my God! With the crime of the river, you are so innocent.
You people are pussies. That's why none of y'all would ever talk like this in real life. You get knocked the fuck out.
I would happily do it. You should.
Yeah, you get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, I bet you not. I bet you not.
Y'all just mute me and constantly mute me and then
what are you,
straw man
5'6" on a bet? What are you, 5'6"?
Do you want to bet? Yeah, let's set up a boxing match. Flat Earth versus Globe or Scott Beach. You want to do it?
I will box you. Absolutely, I will.
All right, let's do it. Everyone heard Scott agree. What, do you want to do it by the end of the year?
Hey, with it. I'm not the world's greatest boxer, but I have a lot of experience.
I know you told me that's why it's going to be hilarious. So when do you want to do it?
Whenever you want.
When do you want to do it?
You don't want to mess up your pretty face.
When do you want to do it, Scott?
I did not imagine that
you guys should really be in the same weight class. I mean, this is.
No, he's going to be way higher than me in weight class.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it
happen. We can raise some money. And we can go get a live stream of the Earth that you people think is real.
What is your weight class?
I weigh like 170. I'm super small.
The alleged space station mirror was decommissioned.
Well, that's not super small, but I'm pretty sure Scott's got
6'1", 170.
Go check it out.
no.
Anyway,
Wait, who was still?
Scott, my buddy, man. Let's move. Let's. I was about to stand up for you. What's it? Slightly stand up for you. I was just going to say that we should award you the same respect. But not interrupting you. As long as you decide to do the same for us, you're not really doing that. But then as soon as I started saying that, you're already talking about beating up Scott. So.
Oh, I was just saying, let's have a fair boxing match. We can wear gloves. We can use UFC gloves if you want to. We'll make sure everyone knows about it, and we'll live stream it. There you go.
Let's have a dance off or something.
No, that's gay. No, the boxing is much better.
I agree. Also, Team Septic is supposed to fight me too. I'll fight y'all both in the same night.
Don't fight. Fighting is so dumb.
But you're putting gloves on.
Man.
This fight goes on, and you guys have to be the champion.
Nah, it's all good.
This will settle the entire debate forever.
Look what happened to Mike Tyson, though.
So you're saying if I knock Scott out, there's flat?
Yeah, Mike Tyson has a lisp for his entire life.
Oh yeah, but if you box like over and over, you're gonna get messed up because you keep getting knocked out, then jump back up.
No, it only takes one time.
Well, I've already been knocked out in football. I got like a crazy concussion, so I'm all right.
Is Tyson? Is he dead? I thought that fight wasn't gonna happen.
28th of November, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so have y'all critiqued the video of this live stream, like without bias, and really critiqued it to make sure it's proof? And like, if you check the clouds and see if the clouds change or anything like that, have y'all done that?
Happy clouds.
Hey,
no, of course not. Of course, you people haven't.
Yes. The claim that's made about the clouds not changing is false. I can show that that's not true.
Well, no. My question is, can you see the clouds changing and then correlate it with the actual weather patterns we know to be on the Earth at the time and prove that it's actually accurately showing what's really going on the Earth? Have you actually checked the video for validity, or did you just blindly believe it?
Hold on. Which video specifically are we talking about?
This supposed live stream.
Okay.
The one we were talking about.
I haven't verified any of the weather conditions at all.
Okay.
Hey,
and don't you also agree that it would be efficient? Why would we not still have one that with better quality now if we did it back in the day? Why would we not?
Because everybody knows it's round.
We do.
That's why.
Everyone knows it's round, even though we went and falsified that fucking claim. I just talked to a Harvard professor that doesn't know it's round. Wait, let me guess. The Harvard professor is dumb too.
Was he wearing a duck suit? Was he wearing a duck suit?
No, I talked to a literal Harvard professor. This is how suffering from cognitive dissonance you are. Y'all claim that flat earthers are all stupid, and yet there are Ivy League professors that think the Earth is flat. And let me guess, you guys think they're stupid too. But according to you, that's the priesthood. Oh my God, Ivy League. That's what. Oh my God.
No, I think they're fake. I don't believe that that's true.
Okay, so do you think that? So you're saying it's impossible for there to be an Ivy League professor that thinks the Earth is flat? Is that your claim? There's not one.
No, I don't think it's impossible.
No, not impossible, but I will be extremely surprised if it was anyone in a field of science.
Okay, and so if an Ivy League professor in the field of science, as a physicist, as a physics professor, what y'all would just say, oh, well, he's just an idiot. That's what y'all would say. Guaranteed.
I would say I don't believe he is what he claims to be.
There you go. See? Thank you for admitting how incredibly biased you are.
How would he get that job?
Oh,
he's not openly a flat earther. He wouldn't be able to keep his job.
At the end of the day, it's a very stupid thing to believe, and clever people like that don't usually believe really
Why are you somehow the arbiter of what intelligence is when you're not that bright? I'm confused.
We're all here giving our opinion on this, and my opinion is that believing the Earth is flat is pretty stupid.
Oh, so your opinion is just exactly the same as the consensus of authority of information, just like all of your beliefs are.
Yeah, that should bother you, really.
Yeah, see, and Twitter, you know what blows my mind? How can you sit here with these people that are going to defend, like Joe Biden, and they're just going to be dishonest about everything, including the election, every single thing you talk to them about? They're dishonest about it. They defend the official narrative. They defend the government every time with all the evidence against them. But you think that when it comes to the Earth, they would never be dishonest. They're really honest about this conversation.
The person who's been shown to have made a number of false claims here today is you.
Oh, yeah, that's a cool story.
You can show people evidence till you're blue in the face, but that doesn't mean that they're ready to accept it. Now, the thing is, with the shape of the Earth, it hasn't really been scientifically proven. It's more like a framework, an assumption that they work off of and just take all of their findings back to. It hasn't really been empirically proven per se.
I'm responding with it a second ago, but the professor just very quickly. Just because I'm not saying I don't believe you or something like that. I think you're lying, but I just think that you have to imagine that if this guy works at Harvard or any other Ivy League school, and he secretly has a belief, and he's a physics teacher, so it means he must be some sort of expert in the field. But he also has a belief that goes against most of what any other scientist thinks. Then my intuition would tell me that he would probably be working on some kind of paper or proof or some way to substantiate that. Because if he really believes that, he would.
He is.
Have we heard of this guy? Is he in the community?
No, he's public. Dude, he can't say he's a flat earther. He'd get fired the next day.
Well, there are people who will go on record for geocentrism, so it's not that much of a stretch to say that if professors will go on record for geocentrism, they're rare, but they do that. That other professors could go further from geocentrism to flat because most flat cosmologies are geocentric. They're just not a ball, so it's not that much of a jump.
Let me guess, everyone that's geocentrist and professors are also dumb, though, huh?
I didn't say you were dumb.
Should definitely be fired. Definitely.
Yeah. You should be determining who's hired at Ivy League schools.
Yeah, you should definitely. If you're an Ivy League school, you've got a professor who says the Earth's flat. You definitely.
All right, Jim. What if he says it's geocentric?
You definitely want to dump that prat.
All right, Jim, should he be fired if he says it's geocentric?
It's going to be very bad for your reputation.
Hey, Jim Panda, should he be fired if he says it's geocentric?
Name the geocentrics. Name them. Who's the geocentric?
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking a question. Should they be fired if they were to say that the Earth was geocentric?
Yes.
Oh. Cool story. So you support limiting actual intellectual exchange. That's what you're actually just like the Nazis you claim to hate.
No, I don't. Yeah. Those people could present that evidence. They could write papers on it. They could present those papers. But until they've done that, in the current situation, if they make those claims, then you would expect them to be fired. And if I was running that university, I would fire them because
good thing that would never happen.
Because they are bringing the good name of my university into disrepute.
You don't have a university, Jim.
By saying something, I said, if I was running the university, if they were doing that, then that's what I would do.
So are you saying there isn't even a valid argument as to geocentrism? Is that what you're saying?
Of course not.
So if it comes out that we were right about geocentrism, I got a question. You're interrupting me again, Jim.
I pointed this out when you've done this, Witz.
You're always interrupting me, man.
Well, you're always proposing that we just stop with the argument and just assume that you're right.
No. I'm just trying to get.
and start working from what would happen if you were right.
No,
Well,
I'm trying to prove how dishonest you people are. So if it came out that in fact it is very possibly geocentric and that they were wrong, would you people go and admit to the flat earthers that you were at least wrong about that part?
Some of them.
It's never, no,
of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't.
It's never going to happen, is it? It's fantasy. That's why.
Well, NASA admits that it's possible it's geocentric. So.
I'm not even going to entertain your fantasy any further than pointing out.
Yeah, okay, cool story. Cool story.
Hey, I'd admit it. You go and prove it now.
Why don't you go prove it now?
Hold on.
I have all the science on my side. All the people agree with me.
Don't do that, man.
Do
you want to answer that?
I think TT go. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Coach. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, if Waz is not going to answer that, I just was going to say something very quickly about because I'm still on that scientist, the physics teacher at Harvard, because if you really think about it, you have to admit that it's either one of two possibilities. That either he really has a reason to believe this, or he really has a real conviction to believe this, and the expertise and the ability to find somebody to present this evidence, or he's completely wrong and confused, and for some reason is a physicist at Harvard. So that you already have to throw that out. Like, that can't be a possibility. So he must have a real conviction and the ability to prove it. So he really must be working on an actual paper if this is a true story.
Yeah, he's also talking to other people and giving them ideas on different experiments that would falsify the heliocentric model. Yeah.
Harvard professor, this is Jim.
Well, Witz had said that if it came out the Earth was flat, would you go and apologise to all the flat Earthers?
I didn't say that.
I said I would.
Oh, but I asked if it came out that it was geocentric, would y'all admit? Sorry, go ahead.
It hasn't come out.
I know, man, but I'm saying I didn't even ask that. I said it'll never come out, man. I said if it might, I don't know. Trump might absorb it actually, and then Twitwit will be a flat earther because Trump said so, I guess. But so my question is though, if they came out and admitted that it was geocentric, then would you at least go around to the flat earth and say, well, like I do at least owe you an apology for calling you dumb for challenging heliocentrism. You were right about that part, or would you all just skip over it and act like we're still dumb?
I'd say yes, but then I'd throw the question back at you. Same question.
Geocentric is still a
what do you prove? If there was actual proof of the fall of the radius, then yeah, I would not take death threats openly. I would prefer to not be a flat earther.
He's confident. Notice how he's confident that he can continue denying reality until the end of time.
Wow. So, anyway, I'm not like you guys. I just want to know what the truth is.
He doesn't even have to consider the alternative because he knows that he will always be able to find a way of saying, I don't believe you.
I just now said yes. If you could substantiate the radius value on Earth by testing the Earth, then I wouldn't be a flat earther. I would no longer get death.
But we can't do all of the means that we have of doing that.
You cut me off every single time. Have you ever noticed that?
All of the means that we have of doing that you've rejected. So we can't do that, can we? And that's really the point.
Well, no, you haven't offered a valid way to do that. You people just regurgitate what you were told.
I rest my case.
Yeah, this is just like the people that I've watched the news. And for the last week, they said there's literally no evidence of voter fraud. And so they came in here and they said, there's no evidence. This is just like that. All you're doing is telling me what I was taught too. You know, I was taught the earth was a globe too, right? You know that we were all globe earthers too, right? You know I know your model better than you do, right?
Yeah,
so that's the funny part. That's the funny part.
That last part's probably not true though, was you have to admit that. But, I mean, also you have to admit that whenever you showed me the evidence, I said exactly what you said wasn't said. I was compelled by that evidence.
Oh yeah, you were the most honest about that for sure.
Well, I mean,
I would like to ask, why would you ask for a 24 live stream of the Earth?
Well, I'm just saying, if it's 2020, we should already have numerous live streams set up all around the Earth. Why are we not?
Could you not throw out each and every of these live streams as CGI? Just when you got them, right?
No, we would go critique them like the real. Y'all would just take them. Y'all would take them immediately as soon as they got posted on, like, say, NASA's YouTube, and you'd come in here and you say, "Look, stupid flat earthers, we proved you wrong." But what the flat earthers would do is they'd take the video and they'd go dissect it to see if there's any discrepancies. Y'all won't do that. Y'all will blindly believe it because it confirms your bias.
Well,
You're
couldn't we
insane.
also,
All
if
we
it was
do
a
is
live
discretion.
stream, couldn't we?
If that would look, if
time
y'all
it
didn't
for
do
us?
that, then y'all would admit the ISS has sketchy footage where they clearly have glitches and it's something sketchy about it.
You
But
think it's sketchy
people
because you
try
believe
to
the
explain
YouTube
it away.
video, but then you don't ever look closely and look deeply to find out that it's not sketchy. You have to look at
Oh,
what
so
people
whenever
do.
things pop out of nowhere and microphones go through people's bodies,
Yeah.
that's not sketchy.
That's not sketchy. That's just video, dude. You're so inexperienced when it comes to video. You think that's sketchy? Come on, dude. That's just normal glitching.
So there's no way that is. Would that happen if they were faking it?
Probably not.
Oh, so you're saying that glitches in the system wouldn't happen if you were using VR?
If they were faking it, they would probably fix that stuff.
Yeah. No, but they're showing it live though.
is.
They thought they trial ran and thought they had it figured out, but someone messed up on where they brought the object in VR.
No,
And they invest a ton of money. By the way, NASA invests a ton of money in VR. Did you know that? Did you know NASA invests a ton of money in VR?
It's not live if it's faking. It's not live. Come on, you wouldn't do it live.
Hey, did you know NASA invests a ton of money in VR?
It's a great training.
VR is not fucking CGI, you moron. VR
Why is this guy always screaming about something that no one even said?
You are. You're always screaming.
No, I'm not screaming.
It's interesting how
because no one can hear me because everyone ignores me for some reason.
No, go
make the point.
No, we can all hear you. You're fucking screaming.
It's interesting how quickly you skipped over that live stream, right?
Let TT talk, please. Go ahead.
So, virtual reality is where you add CGI elements to something that is real. That's why it's called VR. What you're talking about, Witsit, is CGI. They're not the same. VR is where you add. Why you mentioned VR then?
Okay, so they're using VR. They're taping actual real life people in a room, and then they use VR and layer the video live.
That's not VR. VR
Yes,
is where
it is.
you wear something.
I think you're both talking about augmented.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's where you.
VR is a little different.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so whatever. They invested tons of money into that technology.
They invested. It makes sense. It's
It's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence.
Can I finish the sentence without just spazzing out on me?
It's just a coincidence. Go ahead, coincidence theorist.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense because it's an incredibly valuable training tool. So what they're doing is trying to replace the very expensive neutral buoyancy tool pool. So they want to spend less time in that and more time in things like VR, where they can, mimic moving around in 3D space and try to practice doing that and doing repairs and things like that. It's a really great training tool, of course.
And record it and sell it to y'all as truth.
They also allow us to take towards the ISS with virtual reality as well. I think that's part of the investment.
That probably makes the ISS real, yeah.
Well, yeah, in regards. I was just say one quick statement, and then that's it. I'm going to stop for a bit. I was just saying about the ISS footage. I know you wouldn't believe this, but it's funny every time you guys bring it up because I know you've probably seen it a few times. But you have to remember that every time you guys bring it up, like the 3-hour videos or whatever, like we've all gone through them so many times that we're so bored of it. You know what I mean? It's like we've seen all the same footage you're talking about, probably more than any flat earther because we've seen it every time a flat earther's brought it up.
Is any of it sketchy?
On his face at first, I suppose, if you didn't look into it, but
I haven't seen anything which can't be explained.
Oh yeah,
with something
anything in the world can be explained, dude. Anything can be explained.
If you don't understand how video compression works, yes, it looks sketchy. But once you understand how video compression works, it doesn't look sketchy.
All right, let me give you an example, Jim, of how anything can be explained.
I don't think
if millions of votes got flipped over in those voting systems, they could say, "Oh, it was just a glitch." They could say, "Oh, it was just a glitch." It's the same thing. You can explain anything, dude.
That didn't happen.
Well, it worked though, you know it.
It was just a hypothetical to make a point, and you know it.
Let's talk about. Let's talk about live stream.
I did make the point. You can make up an explanation for anything.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could with that.
Yeah, you're right. You can't make up an explanation for how we falsified the shape claim.
We didn't falsify it.
Yeah, we did. Actually, we went and measured the Earth. Direct measurement.
You stay in denial if you want, but you have no evidence of this. The evidence is all in support of the globe. It's ludicrous.
Well, we actually went and directly measured the Earth, and it isn't consistent with the globe Earth metrics, though.
Oh, you did? When did you do that?
Yeah, when we go out and we know that something's a certain distance away, and then we can see it. Then that's it.
When did you do it?
I went out and saw that a boat disappeared.
A boat,
I brought binoculars out.
Do you have a picture of this?
That's not measuring it, is it? You said you
no, but what I'm saying is I said that we have gone out and measured the Earth with direct measurement. When we know something's a certain distance away, and then we can see it, but it's supposed to be obstructed, that means we know the Earth isn't curving for at least those 20 miles, those 30 miles. That's a direct measurement of lack of convexity on the surface of the Earth. You people want to hand-wave dismiss them, tell them that we can't trust our eyes, we can't trust our senses, everything we see is the opposite of the truth. I'm still talking. I want
to play poker with you desperately because whenever you don't have anything, you start to talk like this, and that is your tell. And I would know that your hand was terrible, and I would win a lot of money.
Right.
Okay, so back to the point. You just shot. No, I'm fucking talking. I'm talking. I want to talk about. I was in the middle of talking.
You've said
got interrupted just to say that completely dumbass statement.
I think you've made enough points.
No, I don't think so, though, Jim. So when we go out and test the actual Earth itself, not depending on the government, we don't see what they say is there. What you tell us is that it's all a mirage, and it just looks. The Earth tricks us with mirages, and I'm almost done. You say that the Earth tricks us with mirages and just makes it look like it's flat. Oh, but we're crazy. We're the conspiracy theorists, though.
You tell us what we think, Witchick. That's a really good way of making your point by telling us what we think.
That's what y'all think. That's y'all's official excuse. Yeah, we see
frames per second. How many frames per second in a live stream? Witsit? How many frames per second in a live stream?
So whenever we look out and we see that
72.
When we look out and we see that the tip of the mountain should be hidden by a mile of Earth curve, you say, well, it got loomed up over the Earth curve and just looks flat. I promise you, flat earthers are dumb. Like, what a joke.
We haven't finished the discussion. We haven't finished the discussion about photos from space.
You people are ridiculous, man. What?
We haven't finished the discussion about the photos from space.
What?
We haven't finished the discussion about the photos from space.
Probably less than 24.
Let's talk about wait. Instead of depending on the government, don't y'all agree the most efficient way would be something we can replicate?
You say there's no live stream from space. I want to know how many frames per second are in a live stream.
I asked, why is there not a 24/7 live stream of the Earth from space? That's what I asked.
And I'm saying there is. I'm saying there is. That's why I want to know how many frames per second in a live stream.
72.
David, that really is
probably less than 20.
Yeah, way more than 1 per 10 minutes.
72 sounds about right.
When does a live stream become not a live stream? At what frame rate? And why?
Do we have a 24/7 live stream of the Earth?
He's asked you a question.
I'm not answering the question because it's stupid.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know, and he knows.
No, because he's trying. No, because he's trying to say that taking a picture every 10 minutes is a live stream because he's a mental midget.
Baby argument.
No, he's talking about a baby argument. He's trying to say that taking a picture every 10 minutes is not enough for the 20. Why are you talking? Why are you talking? All he's saying is that I'm wrong and I'm a baby. That's all he's saying.
Stop with the wall of noise with it, please.
Nobody called you a baby.
Yes, he did. He just said he's a little baby. When?
I call him a baby.
Oh, look at Tim, you're going to act like you weren't fucking wrong for the 50th time.
You hear how baby you sound when you do this, dude.
People are fucking bitches, dude.
You can barely hear you anyway, No Name. It sounds like you're in the bathroom.
Shouldn't be so mad at each other.
Oh, okay.
Like, people are ridiculous. Yeah, so a picture every 10 minutes isn't a fucking 24/7 live stream.
Okay,
when does a live stream not become a live stream? At what frame
Whenever
rate
it's not live streaming 24/7.
You know what you're being.
You're being pedantic, and then the room's going to let it happen, I guess.
Aren't you, though? Because
I said everyone knows what I'm saying I want. Everyone knows what I'm saying I want.
Why are you repeating things? Why are you saying the same sentence over and over again? Why are you saying the same sentence over and over again?
Because that's the answer.
Stop it!
TT guys,
I'll tell you why I think you're being pedantic. Is because if there was a live stream, let's say a 25 or 30 frame per second standard video live stream, what would we see in that video that we cannot see from an image taken every 10 minutes? That's the point. That's where I think you're being pedantic. Because one you say is acceptable, and the other one is not acceptable. Can you give reasons? Can you give reasons why?
Yeah, so for one, I never said it was acceptable. I never said that if this supposedly did exist, it would prove the Earth's a ball. I never fucking said that. I said it'd be a good start because it makes no logical sense why in 2020 we wouldn't have this. Now, taking a picture every 10 minutes is in no... See, dude, taking a picture every 10 minutes...
Because every 10 minutes, something on the planet does not change. It makes sense to have a frame rate of 1 every 10 minutes. 1 every 10 minutes is the required frame rate to see what's changing on the Earth.
Let me go after him. So.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, like 30 frames per second or something, that's not anywhere close to analogous to 1 picture every 10 minutes, and we all know it, but people are being pedantic. The point is that if we had a live stream for 24 hours a day, then what we'd be able to do is be able to correlate the weather patterns much more intricately. We'd be able to correlate any stars if they ever were visible, which they normally don't show them. We could test it much more thoroughly than just one still shot picture.
In 10 minutes, does weather change over 10 minutes? No, it doesn't. Does weather change over 1/24th of a second? Yes, you're a fucking moron. Weather does not change over 1/24th of a second. Or 1/30th of a second.
And why would a 24-hour live stream pointed at the Earth show you anything about stars?
Okay, so you don't ever listen, but you people are mental midgets. What do I expect? So when you look at the Earth, if they did show stars, which they typically don't, which I already said that, dumbass. If there were stars in the background, you could correlate the connection. But
why make the argument?
You could correlate the location of the stars to where they actually should be relative to what angle you're looking at the Earth. In addition, if you had 24/7 footage of the Earth, you could compare the weather patterns, which the dumbass said they don't change every 10 minutes because he's an idiot. They change constantly.
They don't change every 10 minutes.
Dude, the weather is constantly in flux, dude.
Yeah. Every 10 minutes?
It changes every second.
You're looking at the entire Earth, Witsy. You're looking at the cloud patterns over the entire Earth. They don't change a lot in 10 minutes. They do change slightly, but they don't change much.
Okay, but if we had a 24/7 footage, we could actually compare live time to what the clouds should be doing, what the weather patterns are doing live.
You can do that now.
You can't do that because the 24/7 live stream doesn't exist.
Guys, here's the real answer. There's a real answer to this, which is, hold on, let me just say this. There's a real answer. And that is that there is a energy and a time cost to transmit these images. And if they tried to do it in real time, they would have to reduce the lifespan of the satellite significantly. It would not last nearly as long. And they don't need it every 1 second or whatever. When they figure out and sit down with their, meteorologist or whatever, and they sit down and they say, okay, what is the maximum distance we can have between these shots? We come up with something like 8 minutes. I think Himawari was 8 minutes. Epic Discovery is 10 minutes. That's roughly the time period in which these meteorologists need this data.
Okay.
So that's where they compromise. So we get maximum lifespan of the satellite, and they can get the information that they need.
All right, but we understand that's just your official explanation. But dude,
I've watched the storm grow.
Why is it that y'all don't?
3 minutes, right?
Oh my god,
it's hard to ever talk when you're always on it, man.
Well, people are addressing me. I go to respond, and then someone else wants to dogpile on there.
Hey, do you? I'm just trying to let you know that.
Like imagine trying to act like I'm not making a valid point right now. It's a laugh.
I like your point. I think it's weird that they try to explain to you why what they have is like default or whatever or viable, but then I don't like that they ignore the point of like, hey, but uncut video would show more. Like, I just don't know why there's no middle ground.
If my girlfriend sends me a picture of her kids every 10 minutes live,
she sends me pictures though.
Okay, that is no different than if she sends me a video.
She's too busy Snapchatting me though.
Okay, dude, look, that's you can do your little snide little gamma cut, go back to Kekistan, little comments all you want, but the reality is there is no difference between somebody sending you a picture live every 10 minutes and there is
usually like every 5 minutes.
I just don't agree with that, man. Like you could be more tricky. The least information you have to give up, the more room for trickery you have, basically.
Yeah, if it was free.
Yeah, wait, can I use that guy's analogy? Right, so you have your girlfriend sending you.
Do it that way.
Listen,
but it's not free.
Like you have your girlfriend sending you pictures, right? If you're asking, if you're Snapchatting your girl,
have that set up, and you want to be able to verify, she can have that set up.
Yeah, if you're Snapchatting your girlfriend and you're suspicious of her cheating or lying, okay, and so you're like, babe, FaceTime me. so I can see that you're not around another dude. FaceTime me, babe. And she says, no. The best I can do is send you a Snapchat every 10 minutes of a single photo.
Different needs for different.
That's what y'all are saying. We don't need the FaceTime. She's not cheating.
Different scale. That's why.
Yeah, no.
Do you think the globe is fucking the moon in that 9-minute interval?
Right,
Is that what I'm supposed to say?
You're an actual idiot.
You're actually an idiot, huh? Or is the Earth like eating the moon's ass? Like what's going on?
Wow.
In that example, we can imagine an activity that could take place in the 10 minutes that is, contrary to a faithful girlfriend.
Yeah, like a girlfriend getting smashed in like 5 different positions.
In the next 10-minute picture.
Hang on!
We ran a train on your girl, bro, but she sent you a Snapchat.
Can I finish? However, in the case of looking at the Earth, all you've come up with is stars which wouldn't be there anyway, and weather patterns which we can easily see and track. TT did a brilliant job of it. He's got a video of it where someone took pictures of a weird cloud formation from an aircraft, and he was able to find it on a satellite image. So
that was TT.
We can and do this.
Okay.
Yeah, the Himawari needs that 10 minutes to compile all the
exactly.
I don't see what it is that if you had a video, what else you could do to verify that as being true, as opposed to high resesolution photos.
The reason it takes 10 minutes is because they compile all that weather data from different high altitude compilation of data, then pile it in, and then composite an image and show you a cartoon.
Already exists. Yeah. It's like current weather. Exactly.
They have a limited amount of power. Yeah. They can't go up and recharge that battery.
Wait, just because you believe the story of how it operates and where it's at doesn't actually make it so.
And
Scott.
also they can
their pictures are actually like 10 minutes
They should have unlimited power in my mind. They're that close to the sun.
It's 2020. I have an iPhone 12 Pro. It has a 12 megabit pixel. It was $1,400. But you're telling me these people can't get a live stream of 4K footage of the most beautiful thing in the world? The world itself?
A million miles? Yeah.
That makes sense. Checks out.
It's just one frame every 8 minutes.
That's not a live stream 24/7.
4K.
Close enough.
It's not close enough, dude. 8 minutes is plenty of time to composite an image. You would just have an algorithm of compositing images.
If I send you a picture every 10 minutes live, like a picture that I just took, that is live. It doesn't matter if there's an interval in between.
It's actually
that's
10 minutes
still
late.
live.
It's actually 10 minutes late. Right.
It doesn't take 10 minutes.
It may send it immediately, but then it has to wait 10 minutes in order to take the next picture.
There's a very
because they have to composite the image.
You have when you're sending data, which is the further the object is away, the less bandwidth you have.
We don't want to hear the official explanation. We know that they have an explanation.
You need to understand it. Please don't just hand wave things away.
No. But dude, I don't dispute the logic of the explanation, dude.
Consider this point too.
I won't finish that point then.
Okay, good.
It's okay. One pixel on the image, one pixel of the image represents how much space do you think that pixel represents on the Earth? Do you have any idea? When we're looking at, say, through Epic Discovery. Any guesses?
40 square miles.
Did you not just hear what I just said, Scott?
Hold on. That's exactly right, Don. 40 square miles. So it represents.
No way. I'm getting. Come on.
No, that's exactly
Don't blow
right.
my head up like that.
That's exactly right, dude. It represents.
I guess. Send me to The Price is Right. I'm coming down.
All right, we're gonna send you there. So it's 1,600 miles. 1,600, or it's 40 by 40. So which is 40. 40 times 40 equals 40, right? Okay, so it's 40 by 40. Now think about a cloud, right? How long does it take a cloud to move 40 kilometers?
40 times 40 doesn't equal 40, though.
I know it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a reference to something. Okay, so the pixel is going to be colored one color. That one color has to represent everything inside of a 40 by 40 area. So if it's filled with clouds, they color it white, let's say. So in order to color that thing not white, all the clouds in a 40 by 40 area basically have to move out of that area. And if you think about it, how long will that take? 40 kilometers is a pretty far distance. It's going to take 10 minutes at least, right? And it's
an automated process.
That's partly why they have this gap between these photos, because if they didn't have the gap, they'd see the exact same photo over and over. It'd be a waste of their bandwidth.
No. The reason they have the gap is so that they can compile a composite image.
So you have no evidence for that whatsoever.
You have no evidence that isn't true.
No, that isn't how it works, is it? We don't.
But I know what the official narrative is, though, Jim.
And they're true until someone proves that.
You people just argue within the parameters of the assumption being contended.
You just argue from your imagination.
You people argue within the parameters of the assumption being contended.
And you just argue out of your ass. You just
no, I don't actually.
You make shit up.
You people's entire worldview is dependent upon fucking fake images, and I'm somehow missing the mark here.
No.
How does it match the ground then? How does it match the ground?
Because they're compositing real high altitude images.
Collected from where?
I'll prove it.
High altitude.
Collected from where?
Sophia,
high
maybe.
Altitude collected where? From
Things
what,
like Sophia.
Balloons.
What's Sophia?
Balloons and things like Sophia.
It's a
plane that NASA has where they send it up high.
They crisscross the planet every 10 minutes. They crisscross the planet every 10 minutes. No one sees them.
No, there are balloons all over the place, my friend.
No one sees these balloons. And
tell me more.
Wait, where do you think we get our weather information? We get them from balloons.
They're crisscrossing in a grid formation every 10 minutes. No one sees them.
We get our weather information from balloons.
You get information about temperature. You don't get photographs of clouds from balloons.
I think you'll understand this quite happily. Think of it this way. Let's grant the assumption that it's all been taken 4K images from thousands of balloons. Think about that. Think about the problem.
Yeah,
think
they
about
don't go
why
where you want them to
it's
go.
an idiotic fucking idea.
Okay, well, here's the deal. They already have the composite. Let me explain
Honestly.
to you guys. You guys are so lost. They already have the composite of the terra firma itself. That doesn't change. That doesn't change. They already have that. All they have to compile in 10 minutes is the clouds. That's it.
Yeah, where do they get that information from?
Are y'all saying it's impossible that within 10 minutes they could compile clouds?
But yes, it is impossible to have that and match the surface. And have it seamless.
Why
and no joins visible. Absolutely.
This is crazy,
impossible.
dude. But I'm the crazy one, yeah. I'm the conspiracy
Why
theorist.
couldn't they have micro collectors that propagates on a macro image that they call the Himawari? I mean, why couldn't they have that? Come on, guys.
How come more now
What?
ISS Live?
What does that mean?
But clouds.
Why couldn't they have local, low, or ground, whatever the Doppler shit is, local network of that?
The Doppler doesn't look like clouds, does it? It doesn't look like clouds.
How many would you have to have, Don? You're saying, do they have balloons everywhere taking these pictures and then compositing them together? Like, that's crazy.
Out at sea?
Control the direction of these
maybe.
Well, we get all of our information about clouds and temperatures from balloons. So, yeah, that's what we're saying.
I guess you could do that, but it'd be the most enormous undertaking ever made to man. I mean, the number of
We use radars and high-altitude balloons to determine weather
Planes
patterns.
might crash into them a bit. They might crash into them a little bit.
We use radars and high-altitude balloons to gather weather information.
But think about
Well,
it.
there's supposedly a network of satellites, so I don't know why they're...
In my lifetime, though, we didn't have satellites, and we still had weather forecasts.
Yep.
We still had a lady who came on the TV with a map and gave us the weather.
That's my point.
Right.
And
so
to show you where the clouds were.
Hang on. So if that was possible, why is it now necessary to generate this whole other method of doing it, which is completely fake?
No, it's the same method. The same method they used back then was radars and balloons.
Right, but they've had to imagineer an entire new method of doing it, which they now have to fake when they could have just not imagineered it.
But they told everybody that the Earth's a ball and they went to space. Did you miss that part?
But they told people that when I was a child, long before we had satellite weather.
But they didn't have the technology to fake it as well back then.
But
is that too foreign of a concept for you to grasp?
I'm
not saying why weren't they using satellites then. I'm saying if they were able to produce weather forecasts without using satellites, why then put yourself in a situation where you have to use satellites and then fake the existence and all of the data from all of these weather satellites?
I don't think they have to use satellites.
They didn't do that.
They
didn't do that though.
Do the Himawari is why.
But you're claiming that they are doing that right now.
No, you just said why would they make themselves have to depend upon satellites? They don't. They still use radar and balloons to this day.
However,
just a Himawari, though.
When I put the TV on, that when I watch the weather on the TV, they show me images from satellites. Why? Why say that? Why not? Why didn't they
told you? Yeah, it is a cartoon.
Well, according to you, but at one time it was a cartoon. Why didn't they just stick with the cartoon?
Because even at the time, because with the psyop that was the moon landing, something like 1 in 3 people questioned it at the time. Now, as we progressed and technology increased in efficiency, people really became skeptical of that footage because it looks absurdly fake at this point with the technology we have now. So they had to double down on saying that we know what the Earth is. They show you cartoon images. Most of them are composite, but most Globers go around thinking they're real. Just like the one that was on my iPhone is Blue Marble's composite. I thought it was real when I bought my first iPhone, and it's the same thing y'all do now. It's so y'all can run around acting like you know the Earth's a ball. That's why they did it, Jim.
Exactly.
Well,
and I think Jim's old enough
you pulled that out your ass real well. Well done.
I think Jim's
real well.
enough to know that nothing's changed in weather
in order to
prediction
convince people, hang on, let me respond.
Right?
In order to convince people of the lie, what they did was make it harder for them to convince people of the lie.
Nope, that's a stupid ass thing to say.
How is it? How is having to generate vastly more evidence of the lie? How is that a better way of carrying on? And why is it stupid of me to say that's not a logical thing to do?
All right, I'll tell you why it's stupid.
Because we need to get them to believe this lie, so we'll make it really, really hard for us to get them to believe this lie.
No, this is what happened. The other images that we had were just cartoons. Everyone knew that. They admitted that. Okay. What they've done now is say, well, these aren't cartoons now. We have real pictures that we're gathering live time from 1,000,000 miles away showing the Earth. That's presented as definitive proof. The other stuff was admitted to just be a cartoon. So that's why they like, because now they can claim that it's definitive proof of what you're seeing.
Right. You're right. Actually, I must admit, when I was about 7 or 8 and there was no satellite weather forecast, everyone was kind of in a bit of doubt about the shape of the Earth.
Dude, you don't think for yourself in your adult life. Of course you did.
We were all just waiting for satellite weather to come out and confirm it for us.
No, you just believed what you were told in the science book.
It was all in doubt for us all.
Watch, I'll show you how dishonest this room is. Do you guys agree that it's possible they're completely wrong about the layers of the Earth?
Stop changing the subject.
Yeah, exactly. You people are dishonest about everything.
I know.
Tell us how many people are involved in this massive industry to produce the fake photos from space.
Most of them are just compartmentalized, have a certain job. So,
what job though? What job?
All you have to do is create the algorithm for the computer itself to actually composite the images with the foundation of the terra firma they already have, and then you would compile the data with compartmentalization of different people. They would send the data in with compiling it, and then it would go through the algorithm, and it would make the computer.
Someone's job to write the computer program and feed all the data in and stuff, and produce the.
So one person had to write an algorithm. Wow, could one person lie? I can't imagine one person lying.
You've got an international network of high-altitude balloons that's aloft 24/7. That would take a vast amount of people to.
Richard, they wouldn't even know they're lying.
I know they wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Well, the one person that made the algorithm they made would know they were.
So I could convert the flat map into the globe map.
Right.
Okay, doopty.
And all of that data has got to be constantly compiled from those balloons into images somehow.
No radars, high-altitude planes, balloons.
Okay, the more sources you add, the harder it becomes.
No, the easier it becomes, Jim. You're a clown.
And you think one algorithm could assimilate all this data into a single image?
All it is the clouds. That's all it is.
I don't think that's possible.
But they already know what the Earth looks like. The Earth isn't changing what it looks like, so they have that base foundation, and all they do is add the clouds.
Well, it does change what it looks like, my friend. It does.
Oh, so how does the terra firma of Earth change? Enlighten me.
It's a couple of
like the Blue Marble 2 data set. That's like the whole point of
the Blue Marble is admitted to be a cartoon, so calm down. We're talking about Himawari.
Let me finish. The entire point of the Blue Marble 2 data set was to show the changes in Earth's surface over the course of the year.
Why do
That's
you
a cool
send
story.
a satellite a million miles away to confirm locality?
Hey, Scott, when we're looking at Himawari, what differences can we see on terra firma? Answer the question.
Hang on. I think Scott had something to say. Please go ahead.
Am I quiet or something?
You were a little bit, mate.
little.
Yeah. Try and get yourself up there.
Yeah. So look, the terra firma changes all the time. Forest fires, natural disasters, tsunamis, earthquakes will do it. There's also cases in which people, you see cities will spread out over a period of time, like over a year. If a city's growing fast, you can see that from a satellite photo. We use satellite photos to actually spy on other countries. And when we do that, what we're doing is we're looking at like railway lines. We're looking at whether they're moving missiles, supplies between missile silos, things like that. So clearly this stuff is changing. If we're going to have any utility for it, we'd have to be able to mimic that some way. So it's not just...
Okay. So can you show one image of Himawari where the terrain changed from another image, please?
No, I can't do that right now.
Oh, okay, so you're just making shit up.
I just made a kick with it.
We see, you can definitely see glaciers changing, things like that. You can see some desert expansion. So you can see forest fires, of course. There's a whole load of things that we can see occur.
Well, then why don't you just prove it?
Well, I'm just looking at
All right, I will do if you want me to.
Okay.
You should learn.
And if they have to change the terra firma by like 0.00001% every year, do you think that they could do that? Maybe.
That's just not the way it is. But by the way, you're
right, because terra firma doesn't change.
Your idea that it would take one person to write one algorithm that would do all this is absurd. This is a 1,000-person job at minimum.
No, but 999 of them are just compiling the data. That's it. Yes, it is true.
You underestimate how difficult some of this stuff would be.
You don't know, though.
India's
You just believe whatever
Russia's
you're told.
got several. US has got 4 or 5 of them.
Scott, you think that the USS Liberty was legit, dude?
Okay, before you give on USS Liberty,
dude.
Yeah, because we fucking falsified the radius, pal.
You can't win that.
hold on.
We falsified the radius. You can't even explain a magnetic field on your model. You can't even explain our magnetic field on your model.
Even tell me why P equals MP, for Christ's sake. Give me a break.
You can't even explain the magnetic field. You don't even know the cores of the layers of the Earth yet.
A PDE for me. You couldn't do.
Hey, watch this. Sky, is it possible they're wrong about the layers of the Earth?
How do you derive the Black-Scholes equation? Tell me.
Hey, Scott, is it possible they're wrong about the layers of the Earth?
If P equals MP, what are the implications for the future?
Hey, Scott, is it possible that they're wrong about the layers of the Earth?
You're just going to keep running from these questions. I already answered that question, dude. You have to answer mine now.
No, you didn't. No, answer the question.
Yeah, I answered it already.
So it is possible they're wrong about the layers of the Earth.
He answered you. You didn't listen.
Okay, so are we stupid for questioning their claim about the layers of the Earth?
You're not stupid. I've never called you stupid.
Okay, is it a stupid thing to question?
What's it?
You are stupid.
Why do you always ask if this is why you're stupid? You constantly bring that up.
I said, is it stupid to claim that, to question that?
Why are you called stupid? So why do you think people are calling you stupid?
But I already rephrased it, though. You
stupid all the time.
Okay, well, a bunch of y'all do call flat earthers stupid.
But usually that isn't the claim, is it, Witsy?
Everyone in this room claims I'm stupid and I'm smarter than the people in this room. It's fucking laughable.
Why are you lying?
Usually
that's not true. I think you're an asshole.
Usually the claim is something along the lines
I've heard you numerous times say I'm stupid. That same guy that just jumped in.
Smart flat earthers, stupid flat earthers, smart geocentrists.
Dude, scream it into a pillow, Lemon. That's what he's gonna say.
Usually the claim is something along the lines of, we don't know what the Earth is because we've only dug down 8 miles. Now that is stupid.
Well, it's smart if you're talking about empirical evidence, Jim, because we need to dig down deeper than that to find out what's actually down there beyond abstract theory.
Yeah, do you know where the theory came from? Who came up with the theory? Do you know?
It wouldn't tell us what was down there.
Who came up with the theory about the layers of the Earth? Do you know?
It would tell us what was down there.
Isaac Newton.
Stop barking things. What's wrong?
You don't even know the fucking origin of your religious beliefs.
That's not true. Isaac Newton, what did he say about the layers of the Earth?
He proposed the layers of the Earth that we still adhere to today. They went and they started digging in Russia, and every time they'd get like a mile or another mile, what they were expecting based on the assumption of the layers of the Earth were wrong. They were proven wrong like 10 times in just 8 miles.
Wow, he's been listening to
Does anyone know if
Montreal
this is Newton? I don't know whether this is Newton or not.
It was though.
Much later than Newton, the geological column and all that. It was I Oh gosh, what was the guy called? Hang on, I'll look it up.
You don't even know how to derive black souls. You don't even know what P equals MP means. You don't know who the father of chemistry is. Why? Are you
Who proposed the layers of Earth? Sir Isaac Newton. Layers were deduced by Sir Isaac Newton in 1700. So what's up?
Well, maybe you're
What
right.
does it matter who originally proposed it?
Well, my point was that he said that he did it. So
it's just showing that we're defending a model that we may not know everything about.
Like he just theorized that, made it up. He literally just made it up.
There's a difference between the model and the history of the model.
He made up the layers of the Earth. He just made it up.
Anyway,
I don't actually care how he came up with the idea.
Oh, he just happened to get it right. Yeah, all your religious leaders just happened to be right hundreds of years out.
Right. Just because he came
You're
up
right.
with
You
something
can't say he got it right because we still don't know what it is.
Can I talk for a moment?
If you want to be honest.
Just because if he came up with the initial version of the model, so what? It's not exactly the same as what we use today, is it?
So what
What's
you're
different
saying
about
is
it?
this model doesn't have
Details.
evidence or proof that all it is a general framework within which you're working and a philosophical presumption. That's fine. But when the rubber meets the road, prove this stuff or not.
No, we use the same layers that Newton proposed.
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. The sucker said he would have given a general idea of what's in there. He would have been like, oh, well, it's a sphere. There's mass in there. It's probably some fucking rock, which is just, it is rock. It's rock in there. Right. So that's probably what he said.
No,
but
that's wrong. He actually laid out the layers.
And seismologists have actually studied what they the data they get from there and have ascertained things like different.
He proposed the three principal layers: crust, mantle, and core.
However, in the 19th century, amateur geologist William Smith was the first to work out the correct succession of strata in England and Wales. And then he was followed by a Scottish geologist, James Hutton, was also involved in this. There's quite a bit here about him. And then there was Sir Charles Lyell as well, who wrote a 3-volume Principles of Geology.
But they're wrong about the layers of the Earth, though. So these people... You people think this cartoon is real and we're the dumb ones. It's so funny.
Why was it necessary for you to say that when I was still making a point?
You have Tourette's.
It wasn't a... Yeah, I know. It wasn't a
Well, there's like 5 people all making comments.
It was just you saying you people are stupid.
No, someone else was talking while Jim was talking, jumping in. They're trying to provoke me to respond to them. So then when I do, you can say, oh, I'm just interrupting.
You're constantly barking stupid things like that.
No, what's stupid is you think this cartoon's real. That's what's stupid.
That was an example of you doing it, just there.
Well, it is stupid.
It doesn't change the fact that you have Tourette's.
I know. Just
what is the method by which Jim was talking about these fellows determine 3,000 miles worth of strata? Or
let's hear it.
What's up? Hey, I just want to tell you before, like, it's not going to be relevant anymore. But if you're interested to talk to TT or look at what TT had done, when you were talking about substantiating certain footage from the satellite via the actual atmosphere. I thought what he did was pretty clever way of determining if it were the same image or if that was a real image or anything like that. And it's pretty good stuff. So I think it's on his channel, or he can go over this. Is really pretty good.
All right. So Sir Isaac Newton proposed the supposed layers.
You only need one genuine image to prove the Earth is a globe.
Yeah, well, too bad they don't exist. So, Isaac Newton proposed supposed layers down to the Earth. Whenever I was in school, just as all of you, you opened up your textbook, and when this chapter came about, all you did was see the animation of it, and they taught it to you as if it was facts.
Oh, well, thank you for telling us how we were all educated. It's good how you know everything about it.
Wait, are you saying your textbook didn't have the core of the Earth laid out?
I didn't have an animated textbook.
So your textbook didn't have animations in it where it showed the Earth?
None of them.
So you never saw the animations of the layers, just like this picture that rocket scientists
I never
posted?
saw animation in any textbook.
How old are you?
Y'all are such pedantic little bitches, dude.
It's
because you have low IQs, though. You know that's why y'all are like that, right? Because you can't debate the actual arguments. So you're in constant implosion mode to find a way to pedantically divert. That's all you can do. That's the only thing you're cognitively capable of doing.
Reality. You're just saying reality and saying the opposite of it. Obviously, we.
No, you're saying that this is reality and there's no proof of it, and I'm questioning it.
There's no reason for us to be in any way bothered by your baseless assertions, Witsit. They're just
my textbook had cartoons.
Well, reality needs to be properly interpreted, and that's where the science can come in, the philosophy. I mean, we see a flat horizon, we don't see a curved one. So maybe that's closer to reality.
When they were digging 7.6 to 7.8 miles down, they had a lot of observations that weren't consistent with what they expected to find. Are y'all going to say that's not true, too? Do I need to cite that, too?
We know.
Because I'm going to say that.
We know all about SC Montreal's article. That's a quote mine.
And I'm asking you if that's true or not. Yes or no?
I'm going to say our knowledge of the structure of the Earth is not centered around the Kola deep borehole. And we shouldn't pretend that it is.
No, I didn't say that. That's what I said was using what they thought they already knew about the layers of the Earth. They went in there with certain assumptions on it, what they expected to find at certain depths. And when they took those assumptions, derivative of the layer assumption, they were all wrong. And at each depth, they kept being proven wrong. If they don't even know what's going on at 7.5 miles, to claim they know what's going all the way to 4,000 miles is fucking laughable.
I keep hearing this claim from flat earthers, but I don't know quite how true it is.
All right, well, I'll just say
they're completely wrong about everything all the way along. I don't know whether that's true.
And what mechanism what they're doing has nothing to do with the structure of the Earth. It's just the local geology. Were they surprised about the local geology? Yeah, I believe so.
Right.
Does that have anything to do with the large-scale structure of the Earth? No.
Yes.
And this is why this is the idea
they put a pinprick in the crust.
Okay, so what you're claiming is that the layers would accurately predict it, just not in that location. Is that your claim?
They put a pinprick in the crust.
So are you saying that the layers would be accurate if it wasn't in that location?
Is
that your claim?
I'm saying if you'd let me finish.
Well, I just said it. That is your claim.
No.
He's absolutely desperate. Go ahead.
Yeah, the layers that we're talking about with the structure of the Earth, crust, mantle, outer core, inner core, are not the layers that the borehole had anything to do with. They were layers of local geology in the crust. Nothing more.
Did they find and their expectations of what should be in the crust was wrong. Because the density changes from the crust to the core, bud. That was actually the reason Newton proposed it. Newton proposed it that way because it had to be that way. There had to be a certain dissipation of density if the Earth was a ball. That's why he proposed the fucking layers of the Earth. Now, when they took that assumption and they went and dug into the surface of the Earth, they found out that all the characteristics that would have been there based on that assumption weren't there. They were finding things directly contradictory to it.
Exactly, like water. And Newton also said that the core had to be molten and magnetic. Right?
It sounds believable, actually, because I mean, there's helium down there. He would have never have guessed it was helium because he didn't even know what helium was. But he definitely wouldn't have assumed that one of the lightest elements was down there.
How do you
in the middle
know
of the Earth.
Newton knows?
That's what happens whenever you. That's what happens whenever you go through time. There's gonna be times in the future where we're gonna assume something and then get there and then find out that we're learning something new. So I mean, you're basically describing how we've come to learn what we know about the Earth.
Right, but I'm saying my point was that it's inconsistent with the assumption of what the layers are, and we still claim that those are the layers. And how would you know what's 4,000 miles away if you only went 0.2%? If you only went 0.2% down to the radius, how would you ever know what's all the way to the radius?
But that was your claim. Witsit. Your claim was that we dug in there and that disproved the content of the core.
No, my claim was that if you only go 0.2% down and everything that you expected to see is not what you found, if you were inaccurate about just 0.2% of it, it's lunacy to claim that you're now going to be accurate 100% of it down to 4,000 miles.
Exactly, that's what I just said. You just said that going through 0.2% disproves our hypothesis about the core.
That's not what I said. I'll say it again because I know that you're very remedial. You're very remedial. We get it. Okay, so you can't make definitive claims about the layers of the Earth if only 0.2% down to the radius you're drastically off.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. You're saying you went down 0.2%, and that means we can disprove what we say predicted about the core.
I said you can't make definitive claims down to the core Or if when you tested 0.2% of it, you were fucking wrong. Try again, 5-year-old.
I don't think we're talking about the same thing.
Dude's a fucking idiot.
Because I think you see again that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. You didn't need to say that.
Oh, so he's allowed to strongman me 4 times in a row, and
nobody else is doing that. Nobody else goes, "You're a fucking idiot." Nobody's doing that to you. It's just you that's doing it, and you're doing it constantly. Oh, go on, then. Who else has done that? Who else has done that?
Us all day, man. What are you talking
You're a
about?
liar. You're a liar.
Yeah, that's what they do. They call
You're
it.
you're lying.
Dumb.
We're talking about in this conversation now. I'm not saying nobody's ever.
On this Discord,
No,
on your
no. I'm not saying nobody's ever been called a name here ever. That's a different argument. I'm saying in this conversation, the only person that's doing this is Witsit.
So you pick on Witsit.
It's the same every night, and I'm sick of it. It's not necessary. He could just make his points. He doesn't have to constantly abuse the room.
He made his point 4 times, and then
he doesn't need to make his point 4 times. He doesn't need to make his point 4 times. That's another thing he does. He can make his point once and shut the fuck up.
We use other methods to determine the other layers of the Earth, and so digging down through 0.2% of the surface is irrelevant in either direction. That's my point, and Witsit keeps going on about, this proves the core's wrong because we went through 0.2%.
I didn't say that. I said you can't make definitive claims about what's all the way to the core. Repeat that off for me, you mental man. Repeat it for me. Because you keep on looping the straw man. Repeat what I said.
We can't make definitive claims about the core of the Earth by digging through 0.2%, which hasn't gone anywhere near the core. We use other methods to do that. So you raising the point about the borehole in fucking Russia has any evidence pro or for our hypothesis about what the core of the Earth looks like is moronic.
Pro or for would be the same thing. And the point is actually that if you were wrong about those predictions, it's completely unfounded to say you know anything beyond that definitively, yet we're still taught it as if it's fact.
It's not true to say they were wrong about their predictions. There were some unexpected findings, but that doesn't mean it's as you're pitching it, that everything they thought was going to be there was just not there and it was all completely wrong.
Are we so sure that the textbook diagram of the Earth sliced open with nested layers of yellow, orange, and red reflects reality? Right. These questions are so compelling that the
that's a different thing. Hold on.
I get interrupted every time, dude. Every single time.
That's a different thing, isn't it? The Kola deep borehole didn't even drill through the entire crust, did it? That what you're talking about. Listen, what you're talking about is a diagram that shows the crust and the mantle, the outer and inner core, right?
Let me explain to you for one. For one example, they thought they could go way further than that. Did you know that, Jim? They expected to go way further than that. Did you know that?
So what?
Because do you know why they thought they could go further than that?
I think they
because they had a different idea of the local geology.
Right.
No, they had a different idea of what was beneath the surface.
Could you quit screaming?
Yes.
Gentlemen, I posted.
Jesus, you people.
Gentlemen, give me a word in here, if I may. I posted. If you go to 828.
And this
is absolutely right. I posted just 6 unexpected discoveries. You might want to have a look at that, guys.
So what?
No, they're not going to read it, dude. They just want to argue without knowing.
This is a feature of science. Unexpected discoveries is a feature of science.
Oh, okay.
Criticism of science. Jesus.
It doesn't mean
the point is that y'all were wrong. Y'all are wrong. Y'all don't know shit about the Earth. That's the point.
It doesn't. But it doesn't mean that, Witsit, at all. They went and did some an exploratory drilling, and as a result of that, they made some discoveries, some things that they weren't expecting to see. It doesn't mean that they were completely wrong.
Yes, they were. They were completely wrong.
It doesn't mean
that.
Do
you know why they stopped drilling, Jim?
Yeah, because they couldn't. The drill bit kept breaking. I guess it was the structure of the rock they were hitting at that point. But that's irrelevant.
No, hold on.
It doesn't mean
that's very relevant.
Because they discovered things or came across things that were unexpected.
Let me finish, Jim.
Jim, once again, you're ignorant on a subject you're trying to argue. Okay, what were the 6 mistakes they found then? If you're not ignorant on the subject.
Well, can you reel them off the top of your head, or have you just read them?
No, I'm reading them.
You've just right. So, but I can read them too.
Okay, but I'm not the one arguing against it. You are.
Because I'm arguing the points that I'm arguing based on what I know of it and what I know.
Okay, well let's increase the knowledge for the whole room, so maybe you can make a more informed stance, right?
What I know of it is that if you discover 6 things during this that you weren't expecting to find, or that you didn't know about, that doesn't mean you were completely wrong about everything.
Okay, let's talk about what they were then. Here are 6 unexpected discoveries from the world's deepest well.
Talking. That does not mean you are completely wrong about everything, does it? Please concede.
Yeah, but you need to know what, Jem. Let him read and just educate yourself, bro. This is interesting stuff. Let him read it.
So number 1, there's a lot of water down there. Hot mineralized water was found almost everywhere along the drill path. Everyone figured that the granite.
I know they didn't find this transition layer. I know they didn't find a transition layer. I think that's the significant part.
No, Jeff.
Why did you just mute me, dude? You just muted me?
Because you guys have gone on and on and on. Because you guys have gone on and on and on about how ignorant I am and how I need to listen and be educated. So I just wanted to point out that I do know some stuff about this.
We didn't mean to insult you, Jem. We just said it's interesting and unexpected.
I tell you what then, don't insult me. Or, alternatively, another thing you could do is not do the standard conspiratard thing of assuming that you've got the edge on everyone else and you know shit that nobody else knows.
Come on, Jem. You're going AWOL.
And that I just need to research it and then I'll know.
You seem to be so offended, like in learning something that we cannot teach you anything. Like what? You think you have supreme knowledge, bro?
Go ahead.
Humble yourself a little bit, man.
Let's see how long I can read without getting muted this time. So
we don't need you to read it. We don't need you to read it because we don't need you to read it because if we read ahead, it shows that these massive scientific breakthroughs were achieved in what year?
Okay, so number 1, there's a lot of water down there.
1970.
It's
not like any of this shit is new.
You overtalked him, so don't get mad.
I'm not mad. I got muted while I started.
You're
reading
always mad.
Okay, so here it is. There's a lot of water down there. I guess I'll just talk through you until Jim mutes me again, because I'm sure he'll do it. He won't care about y'all interrupting. There's a lot of water down there. Hot mineralized water was found everywhere along the path of the drill. Everyone figured that the granite would be dry as a stone. Who says you can't get water from a rock? Number 2, to cut to miles into the ground, the engineers had to invent a whole new drill. In the past, drillers quickly spun the entire drill system to the bit at the bottom to chew the bedrock. Before starting, the Soviets calculated that the tubing would weigh over 1 million pounds. They would never generate enough torque to rotate that much pipe fast enough to drill enough through kilometers of granite. So in 1969, the Soviets invented a rotary bit. It spun by sending pressurized mud down the pipe where it blew through a turbine at the drill head, spinning at 80 revolutions per minute. It worked, and the system is now used on oils. Number 3, the Earth has gas. Unexpectedly, helium, hydrogen, nitrogen, and even carbon dioxide were found all along the borehole. Number 4, there is no basalt under the continent's granites. There was a huge surprise. This was a huge surprise. Seismic suggested that at 9,000 meters, the granite would have to would give way to basalt. It doesn't. The seismic anomaly that suggests the basalt was caused by metamorphosized granite. Instead, they gave support for plate tectonic. Okay, number 5, there are fossils in granite 6,700 meters below the surface. How'd that happen? Number 6, hell is deeper than 12,262 meters. There is a persistent rumor that the drilling ended in 1992 because scientists pierced a super hot cavity and heard the screams of damned souls. Not likely for that. They probably needed to actually reach the mantle. So they thought they could go deeper. They couldn't. There was fossils in granite. They didn't expect it. Based on seismic predictions, which is what y'all say is how you actually get all the way to the core mapped out. Seismic readings.
60s. From the 60s, you don't think that technology has improved since the 1960s, Wixit?
Based on the seismic
technology, name me another piece of technology.
That's all you're going to say is just that none of it matters. That's all you got.
Well,
That's
sure,
all you got.
technology improved, but you need to say how the improvements have occurred, other than just speculating that it's improved beyond these discoveries. I mean, some scientific discoveries are very enduring, like Isaac Newton's, principles of motion and stuff like that, which at their bedrock, base are still used today.
So they were wrong about
correct.
a ton of
the
water.
New technology that they found that they used because they couldn't get enough torque to go that deep, spinning that deep down. So what they did was they invented a shaft within a shaft, which was turned by hydraulic water and mud. So that technology is used until today, by the way. Just for your information.
Right, they thought there wasn't going to be any water, but there was water. So that means they're wrong.
In the 60s.
Okay, stop saying the same dumb thing over and over.
You keep saying the same dumb thing over and over. I'm pointing out a fact.
But the problem is that since the 60s, they haven't updated the prediction of the... But, dude, they still have the same exact layout of layers to this day, bud. In 2020!
Oh my God. You keep doing that. How many times do we have to point out to you that the layers that are talked about in the model are not the same layers as just dug in the crust? We're talking crust, mantle, outer core, inner core.
But it's because of the seismic readings based on the waves. There has to be a certain dissipation of density in the earth.
They have gotten better. And you
cite that, Mr. No Nothing. Cite it.
Cite me a piece of technology that's not improved since 1969.
Tell us, No Name. What technology
The
specifically are they using now, as opposed to then to measure the center of the Earth? Go.
Yeah, what are they using instead of seismic waves? Go ahead.
You tell me a piece of technology.
I'll tell you what they're using. I want you to tell me, because I bet you have no
The moon lander.
Earn the right for me to look that shit up.
The moon lander.
That's what I thought, No Name. You're flapping your jaws again.
What do you mean the moon lander? What do you mean you don't think the lander? You don't think the landers? For one thing, you guys don't fucking believe in the moon
went from the center of the Earth to moon lander. You guys catching this?
Okay, no, you want better tech? No, you use that as your example of a piece of technology that hasn't improved since the 60s. And I would argue that the lander that we just used to land a fucking probe on Mars.
I didn't say that. I didn't ask you that. I asked you what technology specifically to measure the core are they using today?
You don't get to answer my question.
He doesn't know. That's why he's freaking out.
Because he knows.
You don't know because you're not answering my question.
I do know. I know the answer to his question.
No, you don't, because you
do.
Fucking threw another question back at me.
No, he's asking you what. Okay, listen, man. If your rebuttal is,
you don't get to answer a question with a question.
No Name. If your rebuttal is, but listen, No Name. If your rebuttal is,
he's got a weak ass case.
No Name. If your rebuttal is that the technology,
I just gave you my rebuttal.
If your rebuttal is that the technology's increased since the 60s, then the logical follow-up he asked you was, okay, then what technology do they use differently now?
You don't get to answer a question with a question. I asked my question first to preempt you from being able to do that. It's called a tactic. So since I asked my question first, you have to answer it with an answer, not a question.
No, actually, this is how it works, Mr. Dumbass Tactic. We were talking about something specifically, and then you jumped in and tried to why is he allowed to interrupt every single time, dude?
Because you do it every single time. You stop doing it, and maybe I'll stop doing it.
Okay, so we were talking about the discussion of the layers of the Earth. Oh my God, dude. So anyway, you jumped in and you contended our point, saying that it was an invalid point because technology increases. So he asked you, well, okay, what different technology do we use now to measure the radius other than what we used in the 60s? Because objectively, they still use the exact same thing, which is seismic waves.
Seismic waves aren't the
PNS
technology
waves, to be exact. For
the
your
technology is what
information,
used to detect those seismic waves.
See, you're always so pedantic. That's all you can do.
Well, the details are important, and if you
no, the details are important. Yeah. So how about you respond to the actual argument then?
What is?
I asked a question.
Is the
what's
point
the actual
on the
argument?
table?
What's
What
the
is
actual
point
argument?
On the table?
This guy is asking what technology is used besides seismic waves, as if the seismic waves are the technology. No, they are what is being measured.
Okay, so
yeah, but he had no clue about that. He had no clue what they were, but he butted in as if he knew what he was talking about.
Oh, he knows that technology's improved.
He doesn't know shit.
I'm not going to talk about. I don't have to put myself up to being grilled just for asking a simple question.
Well, then how about you put yourself on mute then?
Yeah, then don't talk if you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Oh, come on. How about that?
Let's just make the point you want to make.
All right, Don, did you miss it? Did you miss it?
If that's the standard, then I have to answer a question to be considered credible. Why don't you have to answer a question to be considered credible?
Because your question was not what the discussion was about. So anyway,
yes,
Don,
it is no, it's you don't get to just hand wave dismiss my point away. My point is
we didn't hand wave dismiss it. We said they still use the same technology, dude.
No, we don't.
Okay, so support that claim then. Support that claim.
That specific one is talking about a drill. Okay.
No, we're talking about seismic waves. Do they still use seismic waves? Yes or no?
Right.
Yes or no?
Technology.
Is that the primary way that they supposedly determine all the way to the core? Yes or no?
Okay. Well, the way you're framing that question is like.
Oh, run away again! Run away again!
No, I'm not running away.
Yeah, you are.
Give me a second. Do we still use light to illuminate things?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Do we still use light to illuminate things?
Space you brought up light. What are you gonna bring up? Choo-choo?
Yeah, you're just trying to divert.
Okay, no.
Can I clarify what is the technology?
All right, Don, this is what happened. Okay, we were talking about. I said, do y'all even know?
Jesus Christ, we had to hear it all again.
Yeah, Don, this is what happened. Okay, I was saying, how do y'all even know do y'all agree we don't know the layers of? I was like, dude, do you agree we don't know the layers of the Earth are accurate? It's just a theory. And then someone said yes. Some people said no. I said, y'all know who proposed it? Isaac Newton proposed it. Then we went to the hole that they dug in Russia where they went 7.6 to 7.8 miles. I was explaining that based on what the layers are, the diagrams they showed us in the textbook, they had a list of assumptions of what they expected going down the Earth. And every single one, they just kept finding that their assumptions are wrong. They had 6 major issues that were contrary to their predictions. He said, but technology improves over time. This was done in the 60s. And so then we asked them, okay, what different technology is there that they used and they used in the 60s? Because they still use the same thing.
That's where you're lying. Hold on. Because I'm pointing out where he's wrong because I asked a question before that. I asked a question before that, which is what technology do we has not improved in the past 50 years?
I just said that.
No, you did not.
No,
you tried to frame it as if you asked the question, but you did not. I asked the question. Specifically.
The answer to the question is that we have new technology. One of them is GPS. You're able to measure the smallest changes in the fault lines and faults slipping past each other because we have much more accurate ways of measuring our location.
And your surface.
That has nothing to do with the core of the Earth.
Yeah,
and it has to do with seismology, my friend. You asked me what new things we have in seismology. I'm telling you.
No, we said what new technology do we use to determine the core? To determine the core of the Earth, bro.
Here we go. We've got better timing techniques, so we can measure the time that the different waves pass different parts of the Earth much more accurately now because we have better timing techniques and we have better measurements of the position of these stations. So that's how it's improved. That's how technology is improved in seismology.
Okay, but they still use the same use the same technology, right? They still are looking at seismic waves, right?
Explain how the technology is improved.
But they're still looking at seismic waves, right?
Let's get to what they got wrong or what still they have wrong.
Seismic waves are not technology.
I know that, but are they still just interpreting the same data of seismic waves? Yes or no?
But, I mean, that's like saying, do cameras still interpret light the same way? Yes, of course they do. But it's more, we have better resolution in our cameras, don't we?
Watch, this is how you are so lost. With the improvements in the technology, then, hey, watch this. With the improvements in the technology, were they able to iron out the discrepancies they found down to 7.6 miles?
Dude, that was in 1970. Yes.
Okay, so with the improvements in technology, were they able to iron out the problems with what they found down to 7 miles?
Computers helped a little bit.
We don't know that, do we?
Yeah, the answer is
What are you
no.
talking about?
So your entire
What
point
are
is
you
moot.
talking about?
How do you know?
When you discover new things, that settles it. That answers the question. It's not like they go, huh, there's water down there. Let's solve that.
No, they're trying to make sure that the way that they interpret the seismic waves is consistent with what they found, though, so they know it's accurate.
And it's given us more precise ability to.
But no, it hasn't, though, because it can't predict down to 7 miles.
That was in 1970, man.
You're just going to keep saying the same dumbass thing? Is that what you're going to do?
Very simple, right?
Well, how are you able to make the claims you're making, Witsit? How are you able to say that these improvements would not have ironed out these problems?
Because the actual seismic waves is how we determined what should be down there, and that's why we were wrong.
Oh, so what you're saying is hold on. So what you're saying is then that the very first time we measured seismic waves, whatever technology we used to do that was it. Because
I didn't say that.
Hang on. Well, you're making the argument that because because
so pedantic, dude.
You see, that's the thing that was unnecessary. You just didn't need to say it. You could have just kept your gob shut. What you're saying is that because it's measuring seismic waves, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you're being pedantic.
All right, you're going to have to be muted again. What you're saying is that because it's measuring seismic waves, still, it doesn't matter if the technology's improved because it's still seismic waves. So by extension, that would mean that the first time we measured seismic waves, we could be no more accurate than that, according to you, because it's all just seismic waves. That's an absurd argument, Witsit.
Well, good thing it wasn't my argument. That's why you had to mute me so you could strawman me, because that's the only way you can claim that you can convince yourself you ever get any victories in these exchanges, because you could intellectually dismantle day in and day out. But anyway, so whenever we looked down there, we had a certain assumption based on seismic waves. Now, the technology to interpret seismic waves has obviously increased. It's been like, 50, 60, 70 years. But the point is they've gotten more intricate into like very small details. They've gotten more accurate, right? But the problem is that is still the primary use case to determine what is all the way to the core and the density dissipation throughout.
No, it's not. Yeah, sure. I mean, so what?
Not.
I mean,
yes, it is.
Says who? Who's decided that?
Okay, what other way do they use then, Jim?
Well, that doesn't go anywhere near the core.
Seismic waves?
No,
No, drills.
We're talking about seismic waves.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so to this day, we still use seismic waves, right?
Yeah, to figure out what to get to the core. Yeah, fair enough.
Right, and that's the only thing that we even have the claim to do it with. And the problem is that using the interpretation of the seismic waves and then mapping it out to a globe Earth, it was very wrong. Very wrong. Now, when they interpret the data, now they interpret it based on what we discovered. Like, they can't interpret it contrary to what we discovered. So what they're doing is they're bending the seismic wave data into what we discovered.
You would have to establish that everything that the Russians thought they were going to find was a result of seismic waves and of nothing else, and it might not be.
Exactly. And can you point to on the model of the Earth where it says there should or should not be water in the crust?
Yeah, they expected to see dry rocks.
Based on
granite, you expect to find water in granite?
Based on seismology, based on seismic waves.
In granite, not on granite.
So you just invoked granite. That's some knowledge we have of granite. Not
but the way they thought it was granite was because of seismic waves.
Granite.
But they thought it was granite because of the seismic waves, though.
That's right.
Wow.
Look, I mean,
they just don't get it, man.
They really don't get it, bro. They don't get it,
or they're just trying any way to go against.
It's probably the
conversation has anything to do with it.
What amazed you about this?
Shit compared to fucking.
You guys want to hear two interesting facts that'll blow your mind?
Yeah, go on.
We don't know exactly what's in the Earth. Oh, God. We don't know exactly what's in the center of the Earth. We've got our best method of guessing what's in the center of the Earth. One day we may find out we're wrong. So fucking what? God's not going to tell you what is in the center of the Earth. Seismic waves and seismology is the best guess we've got.
Okay, at least you admit it's just a guess. Cool story.
Found about this
All right, can I respond to him after he says his two awesome things?
Okay, thanks. Number one, they thought that it would be a certain degrees Celsius. Well, they were wrong by 100 degrees Celsius, approximately. That's number one. Number two, the reason why they stopped digging and they couldn't go any further, and they say that they don't think that they can go any further because of what they found, an astonishing thing. When they reached that deep, their drill wasn't functioning anymore not because of it was breaking because of rocks or whatever, because they found a substance like molasses. It had the consistency of molasses, and the drill was just spinning around.
Sounds like
Isn't that amazing?
Sounds like oil and dirt mixed together.
Yeah, it's
It
not.
sounds like you people are going to go down swinging because you're religious. So
It
it's...
sounds like you guys think.
How are we
7 miles
going
is
down?
something
Because
different.
he said that.
man.
How has that put us in a position where we're going down?
Yeah, y'all are going
Let's
down
talk about
swinging.
it. Let's just talk about it.
Okay, but Don, how do you not see how they're being... Dude, we just now proved that according to...
fucking scorekeeping, man. Fuck the scorekeeping.
We did promise Don that he could respond. Go ahead, Don.
Well, okay, so when we make the points, like, let's see if everyone agrees with what they are, and then let's talk about what it means and maybe what they had to change and all that. Let's just talk about it nicely, please, Witsit, please.
That sounds reasonable. Wow.
Okay, sure. I'll try and keep the insults out of it, man. If we can be honest, that would be very refreshing, you know. That'd be very refreshing because I read what your people said.
Where are they measured?
What your people in Russia, what your people said was the way that they knew there should be granite there, the way that they predicted what the temperature should be, the way they predicted there should be no water. All of this data stems from the seismic data. That's how they knew it should be granite there because of the propagation rate through a more dense medium.
How many Russians?
So you
What
assert?
do you mean?
Are you a seismologist?
Do I need to cite it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so y'all
What
can
was
just
the reason
skate
for the
past this too.
correlate borehole? What was the reason? Why did they decide to drill the Russians?
Good thing that's irrelevant.
Witsit gets it. What a name.
I think it is relevant.
It's literally not though.
This is common knowledge, man. I'm surprised you guys are in this topic and you don't know it. Just research it. Take 5 minutes. You can find
Yeah,
this.
we haven't. We've never heard of any of this stuff.
Of course you haven't, Jem.
Clearly
No,
not.
No,
You're
of course
arguing
we
it out of
haven't.
ignorance, so.
Listen, I was listening to Bob bleating on about this thick substance they found the other day on when he was on 24/7. I edited it and put it on my show. So please,
Yeah, you stock flat earthers, you're a weirdo.
And that's probably the 8th time I've heard it. So please don't tell me I just haven't researched it, because I have.
Okay, so what's your opinion on it?
What'd you come up
Honestly,
with?
give
Yeah,
me
yeah.
your
I think-
honest mano a mano. What do you think of that?
I think it's a part of the meme that you guys have adopted that doesn't really show anything, and you guys like to parrot it endlessly.
A meme, Jem? Seriously, bro?
Oh,
You can say that with a straight face,
I can
man.
show you. I can prove it's a meme, even because someone asked a question about this at the Flat Earth conference in 2019 when Mark Sargent was doing his Q&A, and his response to it was, I think someone asked what was underneath or something. It may have even been that guy that was taking the piss, asking about burying 2 dogs, but. Anyway, regardless of that, when Mark Sargent responded, he said something that just prompted the audience, and he said, "How far have we dug down?" And everyone went, 8 miles. You know, like a classroom of kids saying hello to the teacher in the morning.
Are you disputing that?
So it's absolutely part of the meme. It's one of your standard
Oh,
lines.
man, all you ever do is go on your filling
It's
rants.
one of your standard lines from the meme. We've only
You haven't
dug
said
down
one
8
substantive
miles.
thing yet.
Well,
Jim,
it's
the point is are we
It's
sold
substantive
pseudoscience on it or
because
not, or does
this-
the real scientific community recognize the limitations on what
this
we have?
borehole is irrelevant to what we know about geology.
But
So
are
Jim,
can you
and you guys
falsify
pretend
what
it's
you've
the
heard,
source of everything we know about geology.
Can't get a straight
Send
answer.
me to a site that can falsify what you've heard.
Sorry. What is the question? Sorry, go ahead.
The question
Send me
is,
to a site.
are you disputing? Hold on, FaZe, give me a second, bro, and you can go, please. Jem, are you disputing that they dug 8 miles and the findings that they found, that what we just told you, are you disputing this?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm disputing that it's very, very relevant in the greater scheme of things when it comes to what we know about the Earth.
So
what we know about hang on. What we know about the Earth is not derived from the Kola Deep borehole.
So
They
Jim,
would have had to
so
done a
can
seismic
you
reading
what
at that
you've heard
exact
from
spot? Did they do that?
what you've heard from
Because if they
what you've
did
heard
that
from
and then
flat
it was
earthers?
different from their seismic reading, then you guys might have an argument. But they
They did do that.
Did they? Well, let's see the.
Yes,
see that.
do you know that seismic readings are done all over the Earth, right?
That's great. That's great. This was back then. Let me see that.
Okay, so you can act like it didn't happen and just go on mute.
I want to see right before it and then after it, and then it'll.
It doesn't have to be right before it. It could be fucking 30 years before it, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you show me any falsification of the data that you came up with on your Kohler borehole? Can you show me any falsification of what you think happened and why you guys say that we think there's no molasses down there? Molasses in quotes. Right?
I specifically didn't say that. I'm not disputing anything. Well, yeah, because Bob tried to say that it was. What did he say it was evidence of? Oh, he linked it with with that other part of the meme about some deep sea exploration where they hit some denser water or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it's all fake.
That is not a meme, bro.
And he said that he said that those two things were evidence of. Oh shit, I can't remember, but it was some.
Flat earthers are so stupid. Why do you listen to them talk for a long period of time? That's weird.
It was some totally random thing that you would not believe.
Have you seen the bubble submarine when it hit the more denser layer and bounced off?
Yes.
And you think that's not real, bro?
No, I haven't said it's not real.
Then why are you handwave dismissing it as a meme?
I wasn't. Well, because it is part of the meme, isn't it? It's a thing that you guys talk about.
Bro.
You guys have made it a meme.
It's information.
No, this is just a fact.
Information.
It may well be a fact, but it's also a meme.
You people just go down swinging, dude. Jesus.
That's
do.
Yeah, I'm really going down here.
Yeah, you are. You've disputed everything we've proven to you substantially, and now you're just whistling past it.
You haven't proved anything.
Yeah, we did. We told you that they found numerous things they didn't expect based on the assumptions of the seismic readings and the layers that they presupposed. When they went down, they consistently didn't find
that it was based on the assumption of the seismology.
And you managed.
That's how they layered the Earth, dude. That's why they thought it was granite. Was because of the seismic waves, because of the density
You're not measuring into a layer. You're talking about a tiny little slither of the top layer. That's not.
How come nobody else has drilled one?
Sort of knowledge.
How come no other fucking first world country like the U.S. has ever drilled a hole that deep? Why not?
They have. Well, not the government.
Well, because the results.
There have been like 3 oil wells that have gone deeper.
There's been many other attempts. It seems to be a limit, guys.
I would just like to clarify for how stupid that the room is. I would just like to clarify for how stupid the.
Yeah, call everyone stupid again.
No, I'm trying to clarify. No. I'm talking about the people in the chat that are talking shit to me. Because someone challenged that they use the seismic waves to determine the intricacies of the layers. So I cited different evidences of it, and now people are saying, "Look, Austin cited globe Earth evidence. What an idiot!" That's how dumb people are here. Just so y'all know. So go ahead.
Yeah, even though all the detectors are on surface level, right? They're seismic.
The seismic waves don't just detect the surface level, though, according to them. They claim it goes all the way.
They're on the surface. Yeah. There's no deep Kohler borehole seismic detector to show, the cartoon. When they show the cartoon of seismic S waves, P waves, traveling through this globe.
Yeah.
There's nothing down there, dude.
Of course not.
Yeah, nothing down there. What a totally reasonable.
Hey, how about this? I'll show you how ignorant you're on the subject. Do you agree that density is that the propagate? How does propagation? How is it affected by density of the medium? Do you know, Jim?
How is propagation
dependent upon the density of the medium? Yeah.
Propagation of what?
Seismic waves.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so would you agree that the density of the medium is going to affect the propagation rate?
I'm not sure. I think so. I would have thought so, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like the efficacy of propagation is dependent upon the density of the medium. It depends on what type of wave it is specifically, okay? So what they did was they took these seismic wave readings, and then they mapped it out assuming a certain distance of the Earth. So they've given a certain duration. They've taken the duration of the waves, right? And then they've taken a certain distance. They've mapped the duration into that distance, assuming it had to travel that whole distance. And then based on that mapped out, they then deduce the densities they would have to be in each area of the Earth based on the propagation rate of the waves. That's how they figure out that this should be granite here. Okay.
That's because we know the radius of the Earth. But how do you explain the observations on a flat Earth?
It's a fun science.
How do you explain the observations of the passing through the different?
But I think you could test. You could test that in a lab.
Waves go through the Earth. What do you mean? How do I explain it on a flat Earth?
You could test the propagation rate in a lab. Surely you could just take a piece of rock.
Yeah. Of course. Like we know the propagation rates. Yeah, for sure. But the point is, like when you extend it into the Earth, what you're taking is that data from the lab, right, at different densities. We have that mapped out, and then you're applying that to the assumption of a certain size Earth, and then you're mapping out the waves you get into that.
You can
you're determining your densities. Listen. Your determination of density is literally derivative of the radius value. You have to have it to map out the densities. Yes.
Which is magnetic.
On a flat Earth, how do you get the echoing of the seismic waves? On the flat Earth,
how do you get the direction of
the
a flat Earth? I want to know
How does it
about
propagate back up?
Yeah, we need Zanik here. Good to hear you, Zanik.
No, the waves
waves
propagate all over a flat Earth.
Thank you. I'm the only one that's not talking, and you yell at me.
Right, I miss you, Zanik. I miss you.
Thank you, Bubba. I miss you too.
Aww, you're a good gamer.
I'm a good gamma. That's right.
Sorry, it's just a joke. It's a joke we came up with earlier. Don't get off.
I was listening to the whole thing for hours. This is going on for over 2 hours now.
No, y'all say flat Earth is stupid. Why y'all listen to us talk so long, dude? Jim, why you go listen to Bob talking if you think he's stupid?
Know the shape of the Earth.
Oh, because it's entertaining.
Do you think that Bob is
stupid?
stupid?
You have to know the shape of the Earth.
Do you know he has a genius IQ, Jim? Did you know that?
I think
he's a genius IQ.
I think he's
talking for a second.
Hang on a minute, Zanny. I think he's a bit of an anomaly as far as flat earthers go. I don't think he's stupid at all. And I think a lot of people think he doesn't actually believe it, but I don't think that's true at all. I think
I've been with him in person for days and stayed at his house. I know he believes it.
I think he absolutely believes it. I really do. But I think he should know better, and I think he says a lot of things that are just bullshit. And I think his main motivation, is that I think he likes being the wise old man of flat Earth. I think he enjoys.
Cool, Jim. Are you the smartest guy in the world?
No, I'm very, very dumb.
He's the wisest in England.
What did you say that made you ask that?
Because he's just saying that, like, he's just saying that Bob's stupid and Bob has a genius IQ. So
I specifically said I didn't think Bob was stupid.
Okay, but you act like he believes stupid things.
Well, he does believe stupid things. He came up with the, rockets are filled with helium, and he said the most. He's even been criticised by flat earthers for saying that he thought that giants could have existed,
but giants did exist.
Well, there you go.
So imagine this. Did you know that the Vatican Church and the Smithsonian came in and then they, every time someone found a big bone, they took it. They said it was radioactive, so it was to help them out. And then they came back and told us that they were fucking dinosaurs.
Paul Bunyan, for one.
Okay. So we're crazy because we think that there were big bones in modern history, and you people think that you know something from 300,000 years ago in a certain era of dinosaurs.
It was more than 300,000.
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
Because it's stupid, and we have no actual evidence of that. They don't even show you the real bones in museums.
Real things?
They're all replicated.
So radiometric
replicas.
and carbon dating are not real things. They don't exist.
Carbon dating is inaccurate. That's correct.
How inaccurate? How accurate is carbon
Because
dating?
you assume a degradation rate, and then you apply it to long periods of time. If you assume the same rate to be consistent, but it actually changes exponentially, you'd be drastically wrong.
And how accurate is it? Simple question.
We don't know how accurate it is because you extended it to billions of years.
How accurate is it?
How can you ever know if you've never seen the end life of something? Have we ever seen the end life?
Yes, we have.
Oh.
We see trees. We plant them.
Hey, Zanik, do you know that
carbon dating on trees?
Zanik, did you know that Did you know that in your own paradigm they admit that it's just a theory? Wait, Zanik, did you know that the top proponents of your own paradigm admit it's just a theory?
It's just a theory.
Yeah, it's just a theory.
You got a real problem with
You
words.
people argue things like you know they're facts, and then the people that came up with them
How do these
know their theories. Oh my god.
How does the S&P
Theory
wave
is a
travel
bunch of
through a
facts put
flat
together.
Earth? How does the S&P wave travel through a flat Earth?
It just how do waves travel to why wouldn't they be able to travel to a flat Earth?
Because if it's flat, they go into the bottom somewhere where the turtles are or whatever's down below.
No, they propagate horizontally through the Earth.
What evidence do you have that they're Why would it make a turn? Is there refraction of these waves through the solid medium?
Make a turn. Be more specific.
So you have a wave that comes directly beneath you, or slightly beneath you. Let's say directly
How do
beneath
waves
you.
travel? Did they
And then
travel
how does it go?
straight?
How does it go horizontally once it's going straight down into the earth?
So they have transverse movement, so they're going up and down in the Earth.
You wanted sensitive specificity.
Yeah, they have transverse movement, so they move up and down in the Earth.
So listen, how does when you see a wave that's coming up from the ground, straight up, perpendicular to level, how does it make a turn and go out toward the horizon either way, which is where it'd have to go if the Earth is flat?
Magic.
Wow. No. Do you people think that Xanax question's a smart one? I'm confused.
All you do is when you get flustered, you start babbling with nonsense.
No, I already answered your question, Xanax. What was my rebuttal?
Over me and other people, and you don't answer. It's a simple question.
Xanax, what was my rebuttal? I already answered your question.
But I'll never get to hear it because all you do is start babbling. So
I already answered your question.
For a second. I haven't heard it, so I got to wait.
That's your fault.
I have an emission that comes from China, and I receive it in California. So how does it go down and then make a left turn or right turn and go?
It only happens on your imaginary ball.
What are you talking about? Go down and make a left turn. What are you talking about?
Because if it goes down and it makes a left turn, it has to make a turn. It can't go down because it's flat.
Waves have transverse movements. They go up and down throughout the Earth, and then you're measuring the readback you get, and then you're trying to.
Is it diffracted? What is going on with that electromagnetic? What is going on with that wave? What is
it expands with transverse movements from the source of the.
What does that mean? You're just using words again.
Are you saying that wave propagation doesn't expand?
Specificity.
Yeah, wave propagation expands, Zenik.
What do you mean it expands? I have a wave that I sense coming directly from beneath me. How does that turn a corner and go laterally?
Dude, the wave is transverse, so it goes up and down. Okay.
No, now you're using mumble jumble words.
Wait, are you saying that are you saying that waves aren't transverse?
Substantive specificity.
Well, you can't even say the word.
We don't. I said it perfectly.
You said substantive.
I said substantive.
That's still not the word.
Substantive.
Say it again. Try again.
Substantive.
Substantive.
I said that. Substantive.
No, dude, it's substantive.
Substantive.
Okay, substantive specificity. Yeah, I explained it. It's transverse movement. It goes up and down. That's how waves travel.
But I don't see it going left or right of me. I only see it coming down.
No, you see it coming up.
Or I project it down or I project it up. I see it coming up. So where did it come from if it's coming up?
No, the only way you can receive the wave is if it comes up to the surface.
If it's coming up, how can I see it coming up if it came from the side?
Yeah, because the way that waves propagate is transverse movement. They go up and down in their very propagation. Like a wave. A wave, like going up and down like a wave. That's what transverse movement is.
I know what transverse means. I want to know how you're using it. So you're saying I'm catching it on the upswing of the sine wave?
Yeah, as the wave comes back up, then that's whenever you're gonna get the data. Yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be at some angle before I got it? Always?
No.
That's how sine waves are constructed. They have angles.
No, it depends on where you actually intercept the wave itself. And what depth you intercept it.
Just at its peak to see that it came from the ground, but it would never come because it'd be a tangent at its peak. It'd be horizontal at its peak. Hold on. It'd be horizontal at its peak. So no, I don't get waves from transverse propagation because I get it from beneath me.
Are you saying that the waves don't propagate transverse?
Exactly.
Are you saying the waves don't propagate transverse? What an idiot, dude. This is objective.
No, the wave signal can't go. If you see a wave that's coming up from a peak,
he's
it'll
saying
be a tangent to you. It'll be horizontal.
The sine wave, right? That's all he's saying.
Yeah, are you saying the waves
Listen,
don't
you get more and more
propagate
ridiculous with that
transversely?
every single day that passes.
Answer
It's
the question,
unbelievable.
Zanuck. Do
You make up
waves,
shit.
do the seismic waves propagate transversely, yes or no?
Do they propagate transversely? Not
Yeah.
always.
Oh, well, even your own paradigm says that they do.
No.
What
I mean, how
phase?
So you don't
always
even understand your
transversely?
own
If
religion.
I'm sending a wave to China that we on our presupposed round Earth and it goes down, straight down, it propagates down directionally.
Exactly.
What phase?
Yes, yeah,
Earth.
that's assuming the Earth's a ball and you send the wave down, right? But here's the deal: if the wave can only go so far, it's gonna bounce back up, okay, and it's gonna have a transverse movement in whatever direction it's going. Whenever you then detect a wave somewhere else in the Earth, because the Earth propagates waves,
How does it bounce? How does it bounce back up?
we don't know. I can't validate what's below 8 miles.
What phase? Yeah. What phase are the waves caused by?
Yeah,
The earthquakes or
what phase,
whatever,
and why does it
what
take?
phase? Okay,
why does it take a
and also-
time that would be inconsistent with the flat Earth if it was going to China, for example, from you?
It wouldn't be inconsistent with the flat Earth. It moves
It wouldn't be,
horizontally.
What?
It propagates horizontally.
But we're not receiving it horizontally.
Yeah, because it's a transverse movement. Are you this lost?
No, you are fucking talking nonsense. You just learned that word transverse.
Dude, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down.
Up and
Okay, that's
down.
what transverse means.
Side to side.
Now Winston's an expert in seismology now?
No, I'm just not dumb.
He read it loud.
Dunning-Kruger, king of the Dunning-Kruger.
Oh my god.
It's
So y'all
okay.
can't respond.
Lord,
They
Y'all
don't
can't even
even-
respond. All y'all got insults.
They tested
No,
this last
I'm
weekend,
giving
guys.
you a compliment. You know everything.
Yeah, all y'all
forget-
got insults.
You
It's
know,
okay.
you know nothing.
Zanuck, it's okay.
What material
It's
can
okay.
It's okay,
P-waves
Zanuck. You got dismantled. It's okay.
They received the
now?
signal in Kazakhstan laterally. Don't forget, laterally.
Yeah, I'm going to Kazakhstan and China laterally.
Yeah, isn't that my point?
Answer: it's a transverse wave.
Yeah, it was Nathan's point as well.
Oh, that was so
Really?
funny, man.
The reason it's going lateral is because transverse wave.
Transverse
You
goes up
realize
and
how
down.
stupid you sound. Seriously.
No, you're self-projecting.
I'm not projecting at all.
Yeah, because the waves
No,
are
I'm
transverse,
not.
they go
Because
up
all
and
I heard
down.
from you is that we receive a wave from underneath us, and you say it comes horizontally, and I say we receive it.
you're
No,
saying
that's not what I
vertically,
said.
And you say transverse wave, and that's the
It
answer.
propagates horizontally, and it has a transverse movement.
That's right.
What is
So
the word
Zanuck
trans-
is
Can you tell
saying
me-
that
what is the word
Can you tell me
there's
what
an
you
earthquake
know?
under the
Go
globe,
ahead.
under his
What does
feet.
the word
Winston.
transverse mean?
I've already explained it.
No. Why don't you give me your definition real quick?
Yeah,
One
it goes up and down like a wave.
Okay.
Can you
So
tell me
when
what's the difference? What's the difference between P waves and S waves? Winston,
What's the difference?
Exactly.
what's
Yeah.
the difference?
I don't really know. I know we have surface
Detection.
waves, and then we have whatever it's called.
Unbelievable. You don't
Okay,
know.
like yeah.
What's
All I
the
know
difference
is that
between
it's
P wave and S wave.
okay. So, yeah.
I'll let you Google it. I'll give you 10 seconds to Google it. I'll give you 10
Okay,
seconds to Google it. Go.
I already said that I don't
Name
know.
two characteristics of a S and a P wave right now, without looking it up.
You don't know, man. What the fuck you arguing it for?
Better get
What?
You better
What-
get
what do you mean?
Googling.
You know nothing about an S and P wave. Face it.
Where do we
S and P wave.
Yes.
where do we detect?
It's called
S&P waves? Where do you detect them?
That's it. What do you mean it's called? Let him finish. What?
It's called P and S waves.
Here's
No.
the specific
That's
one.
called
What
P
kind of
waves.
material? What kind of material can P waves
Piece of
travel
shit
through?
Waves. All right.
P
What
wave.
material
Penis
can P
waves.
travel through?
Yes.
It just popped in my head. I know exactly what they are now. P waves are compressional waves, the vibration of the rock's direction of propagation. S waves are rock oscillates perpendicular to the direction of wave propagation.
There we go. You're getting
Dude,
lower.
I knew it. It was on the tip of my tongue the whole time, dude.
I
Do
know.
any of
huh?
those
I
waves?
bet it was.
Do any of those waves travel through the core, the molten iron core that's magnetic, also?
One of them do.
Oh, really?
Tell me which one.
Oh, really?
Really?
How
Which
does
goes
that
through
happen?
which goes through the liquid core or the solid core?
Is that a spinning core or is it not?
I think he's confusing body waves and surface waves.
I think you're confusing surfing waves.
So, like
So where
surface
do- where
waves,
do
they
you
don't go below
detect-
the surface, and body waves go through the earth. I
We're not
think
talking
that's
about
what he's.
surfing a wave. We're talking about.
I said surface
I know what you
waves
said. I
and
know what
body
you mean, though.
waves.
You mean surfing a wave.
No, what I mean
you
is
don't
that
know
the
anything
surface
else other
waves
than
don't.
that.
The surface waves are just in the surface. The body goes through the body of the Earth.
So what's the difference
And,
between S and the P wave?
And where do we detect these S and P waves, the penis waves? Where do we get those? Did we drill deep ass holes, down to get the P waves? To check the strata, see what's moving. I mean, did we do that? Or
Just ask if we drill deep assholes.
drill deep assholes? You're right.
Yeah, Zanuck, what's the difference in P and S waves? Do you know? Because I just read it. Do you know?
Yes, I do know.
What is it?
Well, P waves are the fastest, and S waves are the shear waves.
No, P waves are the actual direction of propagation
I just
itself.
told you.
S waves are
what it was. Why do you disagree with me?
because
If
that's
you're
not what
gonna
it is.
argue with me, you
P
tell me when I'm
waves.
wrong.
P
No.
waves. That's not how you define them. P waves are the
It is.
direction
They're
of
the fastest
propagation.
waves to arrive from an earthquake.
P waves are
X
the
waves
direction
shear
of
waves, rock oscillates perpendicular to the direction of the wave propagation.
That's what I
And
just
rock
said.
X
So the
waves
difference
generally
is P
travel
waves
about
are the direction of the
60%
waves.
of the P wave,
Zanuck, chill
and
out.
the S wave always arrives after the P wave.
Okay, but Zanuck, the part that actually is important here is that P waves are with the direction of propagation. S waves are perpendicular to it, right? That's the difference, right?
And how do you detect that on your?
How do you detect it exactly?
That's what we're asking you.
Shouldn't
We're
the
asking you that because it can't
Shouldn't the
go. It can't make a turn and
Because you
arrive
can't-
at a station laterally when I'm receiving a signal from underneath me.
You try to tell me that the body waves weren't transverse, bro, and you're acting like you're teaching us.
Yeah.
I'm not
Also,
teaching
while
anything. I'm
traveling
just
through a molten
showing people that you have no idea what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about. I said the body waves are transverse, and you said they weren't.
I just said if they're transverse, and why do they show up from beneath me and not laterally?
I don't know. Why don't you ask the people in your paradigm because they admit the body waves are transverse.
So you're saying that the P waves travel through a molten iron core that's also magnetic and spinning, and
Yes.
basically full of gravity, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So let me get this straight, guys. Instead of saying, wow, we learned 9 things new about the Earth tonight, you're talking about what PNS waves are?
PMS.
Is this what's going on right now?
Penis waves.
Yeah,
They like to talk about penis waves.
The penis and shit waves.
Zanuck, would you like to at least admit you misspoke and that body waves are indeed transverse?
S waves only travel through solid
Oh, it's funny.
and are stopped only by liquid or gas.
Surface waves don't go through the body. So, hey, Zanuck, would you like to admit you misspoke and that body waves, in fact, are indeed transverse?
I said if they're transverse, why do we receive them from underneath us?
Can you answer a straight point question
You
for
don't know
once in
what
your life?
transverse means.
Yes,
You
I
don't know
do.
what transverse means.
No, I asked you a question.
No,
Dude,
you didn't ask me. I was
would you
asking
like
you
to
the question.
admit that you misspoke and
No, I
that
didn't misspoke. I
the
didn't say
body
they
waves
weren't
are transverse waves in
I
your
said
own
if they're
paradigm,
transverse,
Zanuck?
Why do we? I said if they're transverse and that means they're moving laterally, explain to me what transverse means. And you said because it's a wave and
I
it
said
has a peak and
transverse.
a valley.
Transverse, go up and down, up and down, up and down.
But we receive the wave from underneath us.
But your own paradigm acknowledges that the body waves are transverse, though.
What is a body wave?
The waves that go through the body of the Earth, as opposed to the surface waves that cannot penetrate the body of the Earth.
What are body waves? What are they? Where do they come from?
Where do they
There's
come
two types.
from?
There's 2 types.
Are you not going to answer the question?
I've already answered it. You're the one that tells me things are going horizontally when we're getting them vertically.
Are the body waves transverse? Yes or no?
If there's an earthquake on the flat Earth, how are we gonna detect it on the other side?
Are you
talking about because they go through the Earth?
You know what he did? He opened up the Google, picked out an article, and he just read a few sentences. Now he's trying to quiz you. What's this wave? What's that wave?
Yeah,
really,
I know.
Really.
Of course.
Because you're sitting here acting like you know what the hell you're talking about.
I do
Did
know
you
one
miss the
thing,
part
that
where
the
we
body waves are
identified
transverse.
At least 8 things that they found unexpected while they were digging. Did you miss that part, Zanuck?
I'm pretty sure Witz is more competent.
I didn't
than
miss
Zanuck.
that part.
You keep bringing that up as if that's some kind of like that's some kind of
but I'm
amazing
saying,
thing.
after all that we talked about, your only issue is not saying, I wonder what that molasses stuff was. I wonder why they got it wrong by 100C.
Who cares?
I wonder why they didn't predict
Scientists make
microbial life.
predictions all the time.
Your question is PNS
predictions all
waves,
the
bro.
time.
Really?
Sometimes the predictions are wrong. So what? Yeah, we learn from those predictions.
Yeah, you mean like the prediction of your entire worldview?
Yeah, bro.
Prediction.
Jesus, we're talking about the shape and the nature of the Earth. They made claims about it, and you people think that they're definitely right about it. Yet every time we go and test it, they're wrong.
If you're wrong once, you can be wrong.
Where are they wrong? One instance where they're wrong.
Okay, they dug 7.6 miles down, and they were wrong about like 6 different expectations based on the assumption of the layers of the Earth.
Okay, that's great. So what does that have to do with the shape of the Earth?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we were talking specific. This is all started by me saying, can you guys at least admit that the layers of the Earth is just a theory and could be completely wrong?
And
yeah, the picture. The picture, right?
Yeah, the cartoon picture we're all showed. Yeah.
Since our motto is so
completely
wrong,
wrong,
can you tell me one day when the sun did not rise at a specific time when it was supposed to rise?
Yeah, it's called sunrise and sunset for a reason, buddy.
Yeah, so tell me a day when it didn't rise at a specific time.
It rises at the same time for all recordable history because we're not shooting like 8 different vectors through a vacuum.
Exactly, 11 vectors.
So you're pointing to the sun. We're talking 8 miles out, and your answer is look up.
Yeah.
Let's
not look at the Earth. Let's look at the sky and how we misinterpret it. That'll prove the Earth is a ball. So, hey, I got a question for you. B-ball for life. B-ball for life. When we watch a sunset, do you actually think that in fact what's happening is you're falling backwards 1,000 miles an hour? Is that what you think? Okay, and we're the crazy ones though, right?
But you know what? You know what we never.
We're the crazy ones though. This dude watches a sunset and he thinks he's falling backwards 1,000 miles an hour. That's why I saw a sunset.
That makes sense. Yeah, sure.
So we're both of you knuckleheads. Why would you feel
also
anything?
when we see the sun cut off in half?
Why would that speed? Hold on. Why would that speed be so impressive to you as far as we should feel something?
No, I didn't say feel it. I said I just think it's funny that
as you're falling backwards at 1,000 miles an hour, your hair.
Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not even my point. I just think it's funny that like when we see the sunset, there's 2 options. But Zanik, listen, there are 2 options. I'm not saying you should feel it because of the semicircular canals in your vestibular system.
I think it's funny how when we look at a sunset and it's cut in half, that sun is actually supposed to be 3,000 or 5,000 miles above the surface.
How do you detect that?
How the hell does that?
When something gets further away from you, it disappears.
How come there's
So what's it? Let's ask Coach how he detects motion. How does he detect
It's supposed to get
motion?
smaller, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, wait, real fast. Zanik, the answer to your no, it's not supposed to get smaller. So Zanik, to answer your question,
that's a law of perspective.
it gets smaller throughout the year, doesn't it? Hey, does the sun get smaller and bigger throughout the year?
It does.
By how much?
Okay, so the sun changes in angular size throughout the year based on its circuit over. Okay, not very much. Based on its circuit over a flat Earth, because sometimes it's closer to the center and sometimes it's further away. You lose.
We're talking about during the day. What's it? We're talking about during a day. One day.
Okay.
When it
So
let's
just ignore that part then, because that dismantles your religion. Let's go on to the next part.
5,000 miles away, it was just smaller as it gets further away. That's just facts of perspective. Yeah, we don't. We don't see it through that.
What moves during the day? What moves? Go.
And if we're moving 1,000 miles an hour, who cares? Because we don't feel velocity, we feel change.
Well, we actually would because of the semicircular canals in your vestibular system.
No, but we don't. They only respond to change.
Angular motion.
Not velocity. No, not motion.
Feel angular momentum. You think you don't feel angular momentum?
We can't all talk at once.
No, they detect angular motion. That's what they do.
God damn it, guys! Only change of motion. That's all.
That's not true.
That is true.
No, like when you're on a merry-go-round, if it stays at the exact same speed, you still know you're moving because of the semicircular canals in your vestibular system. It detects angular motion.
Do you know why? Do you know why that? Hold on, let me have this one, please. Let me have this one, please. Hold on. Let me have this one. You said you're going the same speed on a merry-go-round. Do you not understand when you make a circular path that you are changing velocity?
Yeah, sure.
No, do you understand? You don't. It doesn't sound like.
Are you saying the Earth isn't spinning in a circle?
I'm asking you a question. If you're on a merry-go-round,
isn't the Earth spinning though?
Are you? If you're on a merry-go-round with a constant tangential velocity, is your velocity changing?
You said change of acceleration, not velocity.
You're right. I did.
I know. So you're wrong again for the 50th time in 5 minutes.
Listen, is velocity changing if you're going in a circular path at a constant tangential velocity?
Yeah, that actually explains. That actually disproves your model.
Is it yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
And that disproves your model also
because I can feel it.
Hello.
Because of the elliptical orbit of the Earth, you would feel the change. Haha.
What's it?
So you're wrong about everything. Like literally everything you're wrong about.
He just shot himself in the foot. So what you just said about the merry-go-round should be true on Earth.
Stop it.
You should feel the constant motion. You're right.
No, it's called change of velocity. It's called acceleration. Now, if you do it over 20, hold on. If you do it over 24 hours, the change is so small that you will not feel it.
Well, anyway. Your semicircular canals and your vestibular system, they detect angle. Stop. Your semicircular canals and your vestibular system actually detect angular motion. But what Xanax said was that you wouldn't detect it because there's no change in acceleration. So since he said that dumbass thing, then what I did.
I said change of velocity.
No, you said acceleration.
You said
acceleration.
I said change of velocity, acceleration.
No, you said acceleration.
You said acceleration.
All right, I'll play it back on YouTube.
Go ahead, play it back.
I will.
And if by chance I said that, then I apologize. That's misspeaking.
On the flat Earth, is the sun, is the flat Earth bigger than the sun?
You have to remember that your merry-go-round is also
I got a
traveling at
question.
66,000 miles an hour.
Yes, that is. And the angular velocity is one. Hold on. The angular velocity is one revolution every 24 hours. So the angular velocity is almost nothing. And you calculate these forces by taking the mass times the velocity divided by the radius. Sorry, velocity squared divided by the radius. All right? So it's almost nothing. It is near nothing. You can't feel it. Sorry.
And that direction,
so if you're ever making a circular path with it in the future, you are accelerating even though you're going at a constant speed.
You mean like the Earth?
Yes. Constant speed, constant angular velocity, but you're constantly accelerating.
He just admitted it.
I know, he doesn't even realize it, though.
I mean, what did I admit? Go ahead.
Question.
That was awesome.
No, go ahead. What? Did you confuse what I said?
Bigger than the sun?
We don't make claims about exactly what the sun is.
He did it before and he didn't realize it as well.
No, go ahead. I'm clear what I just said. Tell me what I misspoke. Go ahead. What did I say?
Yeah, you just said it would be the same as the Earth, as you made a whole argument on how you would detect the motion.
ahead.
So
Tell me
thank
what
you.
I
That's our argument. Welcome to Flat Earth Snacks in the Back.
Tell me what I said.
Let somebody else get in, Xanax. Somebody was trying to get in there.
Yeah, someone say Xanax. He's bleeding out, dude.
Pinch it tight.
Hold on a second. I told you
that guy that his head's cut off. He's just swinging his sword anyway.
Dude, you're making so much noise. It's unbelievable. Just relax for a second.
Someone's upset.
But he already accused me of saying something that I misspoken. I did not.
Okay, so make your response, but then let somebody else get in because you.
All right, I'll make my response.
You and Witsit together. Hold on. You and Witsit together are a headache-inducing wall of sounds. You guys have got to stop.
I've been listening for 2 hours of his mouth. Don't worry about it.
Well, now you contribute.
I will talk for
everything's
5
fine.
seconds.
Everything's fine.
5 seconds. That's it.
Yeah.
Witsit, if you're traveling at a constant angular velocity, such as on the Earth, once every 24 hours, you have an acceleration. But that acceleration is very, very small. Too small to feel. A constant speed, like you said, can create an acceleration if you're going in a circular path. Okay? Just understand that, please.
And the direction of that foot, when you would feel that, is the direction is up. That's what happens with it.
Oh, sorry, I literally wasn't listening to you guys.
That's you
say it again.
In the direction upwards.
No, I heard you. Never mind, Xanax. I heard you.
And that's countered by the force of gravity. So, and the force upwards is so small.
Gravity's not a force, though.
You can measure it.
Did you know that gravity isn't a force, though?
Well, we know that.
Okay. But making sure you all understand your own religion. You think concepts, man. I just wanted to make sure you all
Cause it's pseudo force.
Get the pseudoscience right, dude.
I got a question. is the sun on the flat Earth? Is the sun smaller or bigger than the flat
We
Earth?
don't make claims about the nature of the sun.
Of course you don't.
Because we can't validate if that's the apparent or actual location. We don't know if there's something between us that's affecting our perception. We don't know what medium it's in, which would directly affect its perception. If the medium it's in is very dense, it would affect the propagation of light or inversely. So we don't even. We don't. Yeah, we see it.
We don't make
Yes, that's
shit
an
up.
apparent location.
Can you use a telescope to see the sun with a solar filter?
Yeah, that's an apparent location.
Is it inside the dome or outside the dome?
I don't know.
So the sun is
I would
bigger
guess
or
outside.
smaller? I'm going to ask again. Do you think that the sun is bigger or smaller than the flat Earth?
I don't make unfounded speculative claims like your side does, and then claim that they're real.
What do you think? What do you think?
I'm not gonna
Take a wild guess.
entertain it so you can straw man it and say that I claim to know it, because you're a clown.
What about the moon? What about the moon? Is the moon bigger?
Same
or
thing.
smaller than the flat Earth?
Don't make definitive claims about the nature of the moon when they can't be validated.
Because as soon as you make a claim, we can destroy that shit, right?
No, you're gonna say
As
change
soon
an
as you
angular
make some
size like
sort
a
of claim.
5-year-old because you work at the same
Because
level of a 5-year-old.
My question is, if the sun and the moon are smaller than a flat Earth, then how in the hell would the Earth ever get in between to produce a lunar eclipse?
Oh my! That is the dumbest question I've heard in 5 years of flat Earth.
That's a really good question.
Then let me answer. Let me answer your really good question.
I've been trying to figure that out for a long time.
That is the dumbest question I've heard in 5 years of flat Earth, dude. So his question is, if the sun and moon are actually smaller than the Earth, then how does the Earth ever get in between them to cause an eclipse? Oh my God, that is the dumbest shit.
Can you answer it?
Oh yeah, we don't claim that's the causation of an eclipse, you moron.
What's the cause of an eclipse then?
Well, it's certainly not the Earth.
Some sort of dark body. Oh, you got to mix some shit up. A dark body.
No. I don't have to make shit up. That's what your side does. That's why you can't explain the selenilian eclipse. Hey, why does NASA have to use the Saros cycle to predict eclipses?
We're not talking about that.
Oh, we're not talking about my religious leaders. No.
Can you just stay focused for a second?
I'm focused already. His question is dumb as fuck.
He wants to go. Of course, he wants to go to the selenilian, which happens 10% of the time.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, if it happens one time, that's all that matters.
Oh, well, it happens one time and we have an explanation for it.
You have an explanation for it, and your ad hoc explanation is that refraction lifts the sun and moon up above the horizon.
Ad hoc, you mean perfectly valid? Yeah.
It's not perfectly valid. You have no data to support it, though.
Boychick, you
Perfectly valid. Refraction is easily understood.
Okay, where's the data to support it, Scott?
I'm sure it's somewhere.
Oh, it's not though. I've been looking for it. Unlike you people, I actually like to go look into your model says. You people just believe what they say.
You can't Google anything, much less look for the sun.
Yeah, so
that's crazy. Whenever my IQ is a minimal of 50 points higher than you, Scott, you should probably leave my intellect out of it, don't you think?
By the way, let me tell you something. First of all, I didn't say anything about your intellect. Second of all, the people that invoke their IQs constantly are usually not particularly smart. You do this nonstop.
I don't care what you think. You keep on talking about how I'm dumb, and I'm definitely smarter than you are.
I've never said you're dumb once, you crazy person. Why do you keep saying that?
You said I didn't even know how to read or Google.
I said you don't know. You don't like to use Google, much less go search for.
You said you don't know how.
No, I said you don't like.
You don't. Whitsit.
No, you said you don't know how.
Whitsit. What about those waves again? Getting back to the subject here. Why did you think that all the waves are transverse?
I said the body waves are transverse, man.
So the body are made up of two waves, right? S and P, right? The P waves are longitudinal, like I said. They do not go transverse. So why do they come from our feet?
The surface waves aren't the body waves.
Yes, they are. Body waves are both S and P waves.
Okay, we're talking. You were asking me about the propagation to the Earth. Okay,
yes, and then
those are body waves, and those are transverse.
P waves.
What?
S waves will go transverse. P waves are longitudinally. So if they're coming from our feet, what deflects them? My original question, which makes them go horizontally if the Earth is flat. That's my original question, and you still have failed to answer it.
No, once again, all the waves move transversely.
No, they
meaning
don't.
as in they move like a wave. They go transverse up and down. Now some of them are longitudinal and some of them are latitudinal, according to your religion.
No, not some of them. Not some of them. P waves are not transverse. Period.
Yeah, they are.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Citation. You're the Google expert.
Just a second.
And then you're going to come back and eat crow in front of us.
P waves. Okay, yeah, it says longitudinal, but I'm explaining that they're transverse in this. I just said that. I just said that though. Listen,
come from your feet.
But Zanuck, I just now said they're transverse in the sense that they move up and down like a wave.
No, that's not what
One's
it means.
longitudinal.
That's not what transverse
I understand
means.
that. Yeah, transverse.
That's
You're
not what
using
it
it in the sense
means.
that it's only lateral movements. But I'm telling you that
that's not what it means.
Like you're impossible to talk to, dude.
Knucklehead.
You're both impossible, so it's getting pretty old, honestly. You guys are just yelling at each other.
Go ahead. Have fun with
No,
your
I'm
nonsense.
disengaging with Zanuck. He's giving me a headache.
That's a good idea.
Witsit, don't you think a seismologist who had access to a bunch of seismic data could debunk the globe pretty easily?
No, because we're just looking at the waves and then trying to map it into a globe. How would we debunk the globe easily? Enlighten me.
Well,
Because a longitudinal wave wouldn't go horizontal.
You just have to show that it doesn't match a globe model.
Well, that's the thing. They're not trying to show that. They're only trying to map it into a globe model, and they're constantly changing it and updating it because they can't figure it out.
I get that, but couldn't you guys find a seismologist to show you some data and try and figure out if it actually matches a globe or not?
Sure, I mean, but whenever they
make it
release the
match
information themselves, so it's publicly accessible, it doesn't match a globe. So
have you seen?
It does match a globe. You can't make it match a flat Earth. That's the problem.
yeah, actually, you can make it match the flat Earth. Do you know how that you would do that? You take the duration of waves and then you map it out from location to location. Did you not know that?
Well, did you see? Did you see?
Okay, it's been done, I'm sure.
Did you see?
This is just like every conversation. This is just like every subject in this conversation. Your side has yet to come up with an adequate explanation for a phenomena, and yet what y'all do is say, well, we've explained it, even though literally you haven't yet. You say, we've explained it, now explain it on a flat Earth. Yet the globe Earth people that do it say they haven't explained it yet. Y'all do this with everything.
You're doing the voice that tells us you don't have anything to say again. You're doing that long vowel thing.
You never respond to with substantive specificity. You're incapable of such.
I'll give you some
Constantly,
substantive specificity. Why does the sun not get smaller as it sets?
Because we don't know exactly what the sun is. I don't assume solidity. I don't know the medium it's in. I don't know what's between us and that. But it does change angular size over the course of the year.
Below level? Why is the sun below level as you go higher?
Because as you get higher, you increase your angle of view.
That's your answer?
That's subjective.
That's not objective.
Wait, are you saying as you get higher, you don't increase your angle of view?
But the sun's always above you, right?
Wait, Zanuck, as I get higher, do I increase my angle of view? Yes or no?
That has nothing to do with where it is.
You just said it wasn't objective.
It's not objective. It doesn't.
No, it has to do with your perception of it. If you're standing at the bottom and it looks like the sun's setting, then you go to the top of a building, you've increased your angle of view, so you're seeing part of it as it's going away from
field of view. You're talking about you increase your field of view.
Your angle of view.
You increase the angle of view to what? The surface or around you?
Yeah, to what you're observing.
To what you're observing. So if I'm going up in altitude and I see the horizon fall beneath me and I see the sun below level, how does that happen? What's it?
Once again, whenever you see the sun set at the surface level and then you go up above the surface, you've increased your angle of view, thus bringing it back into view until it continues to get further away from you, and then it disappears from that angle of view also.
But the sun is not at eye level. It's above It's above your eye, at your eye level, or above it. How can it be below eye level?
Because, dude, when things get further in the distance, angular size changes relative to distance. Things get smaller, and it's going away from you.
There's nothing to do. Angular size has nothing to do.
I wasn't done explaining it though.
No. Angular size
so when things get further away, they get smaller, and also over a flat surface, they appear to go down some, but the surface appears to come up some. The reason for this is because you have to interrupt me because you're a clown. The reason for this is you're actually watching the appearance of convergence of the sky and the floor, right, and the ground. Well, you're going up above the ground, so what you're viewing that's apparently converging, the ground, is beneath you, but it appears to rise, but it rises only partially. It's still below you, so you're in the middle ground of where it was below you, so it's going to rise but still be beneath you. Oh shit, that's what we observe.
Okay, so why doesn't it rise to eye level then?
I just explained it.
No, why doesn't it rise? You said it very articulately of why you go up higher and the surface does fall beneath you, because that would happen. But why would the horizon not rise to eye level as well?
The horizon rises some, but it doesn't always.
Let me ask the question. Is it because you can't see that far anymore? So it's kind of like a limit, so that limit becomes lower. That would make sense. What's your answer?
Yes, you reach your vanishing point.
Reach the vanishing point. So vanishing point is going to be the refractive limit, right?
Yeah.
So your diffractive limit will be your angular size limitation of what you can actually see and resolve.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So let's say we reach that with the ground. But why is the sun still visible below level and the ground below that? That doesn't add up, Witsit.
The sun is still visible above level of the ground?
No, below level and above the ground.
It's below level of the ground?
Below level, below your level, and above the ground horizon.
Well, how high are you?
You said you can't see anymore. You're at
how high are you?
20,000 feet.
Oh, okay. Well, you can see it longer than you can on the ground if you're 3,000 feet up, right?
You can see it longer than you can on the ground. What does that mean?
You can see the sunset longer at a higher elevation.
Longer, like duration of
you
time?
can see more of the sun than you can lower. It disappears quicker at the bottom.
But why is it below level?
You mean eye level?
Of course.
Because you're reaching a vanishing point, which is an apparent convergence of sky and ground. You're up above the ground, so that means what's creating your vanishing point or apparent convergence is below you. So it rises up some, but it's still significantly below you.
We can see blinking lights called airports that have towers that have a green light, and we actually can see them 250 miles away without any problem. But yet, so if that's the vanishing point, where the horizon, we can't see beyond it, by the way. But yet we see the sun above it, and then we see level above that. So that throws away in the garbage your idea that that's a vanishing point for some reason, because the sun, unless the sun is 250 miles away, is the sun 250 miles away?
I don't know where the sun is. As far as that,
250 miles away.
Well, I don't know because you can't go further than 62 miles.
Well,
so.
you can call someone at that airport, which you do when you're flying, and say, "Hey, John, where's that sun at?" And he's gonna say it's the exact same position that you see it at.
You mean high or like distance vertically or horizontally? You mean horizontal distance or like altitude or elevation? You mean horizontal distance or elevation?
Distance.
From you. How far away is the sun from us? Yeah. Wouldn't we need to know its elevation to know that?
No.
Yeah, we would.
No, we wouldn't.
Yes, we would.
All I do is look at the angular size and say, yeah, Bill, it's still a half a degree on my end too, and you're 250 miles closer to it. So we know it's got to be pretty far away if that angular size isn't changing.
Yeah, but we also don't know that that's even the actual location.
Can't you just give it that it's farther than that friggin' airport, 250 miles away? I'm seeing it below level, Witsit. You're not.
Are you this lost, dude? Why do you keep saying that?
You're acting like your IQ is very low, actually.
No. But it's objectively not, and I'm trying to understand. Exactly. Why do you keep looping the same question I've answered 3 times?
Because you're not.
Are you not understanding it, Zanuck?
Substantive specificity.
Yeah, I've explained it very thoroughly.
No, you haven't. You just.
Why
said,
does it appear to be below level? What did I say,
it's
Zanuck?
far away, and I can't see it. And there's my answer. That's what you're saying to me.
No, it's not what I'm saying.
I know. It's tough. You know what the diffractive limit is, right? You know what the diffractive limit value is?
Yeah, we've already talked about the diffraction limit, and I've explained to you that the reason that I'm just going to talk through you. I'm going to disengage after this, just so you know.
Okay,
so
after this
I explained that the ground is appearing to converge with the sky, but the ground is beneath you, Zanuck.
Yes, great. And you're saying that it's beneath you because it's just further away. But the problem is we have the sun beyond it. So if that was the case, the horizon should rise to eye level. It shouldn't.
I didn't say the ground was beneath you because it was farther away. I said it's beneath you because it's beneath you.
Yes, beneath you because you get farther away, higher, and it gets further away. That point.
It's still beneath you.
Your diffractive limit gets further away. You said this.
But it's still beneath you, though.
Yes, it is. I agree with you.
Okay, so let me give you an example, Zanuck. If I stand at the end of a long hallway and it looks like the ceiling and the roof or the floor are converging, it'll look like it's rising some, but it won't rise all the way to eye level, though.
Yes, it will.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will. If it goes on in.
No, it objectively will not.
Yes, it will. Objectively, measurably will.
Okay, you don't seem to understand that if the ground's below you, and then what your vanishing point is dependent upon the convergence. I'm going to say it one more time.
Hold on. Let me finish. Where they converge would be exactly at eye level. Yet we see this convergence of the land and the sky at 4 degrees, up to 4 degrees below eye level. So
all right, let me ask you like this, Anik. If I get on my stomach and I look at the end of the long hallway and then I stand up, is it going to change?
If you're sitting down and you stand up, what change?
The apparent convergence of the ceiling and the ground and the hallway. If I'm laying on my stomach and I see that convergence, so that vanishing point, and then I stand up, is it going to change?
Well, yeah, from your...
Yes, it's going to go down, Zanuck.
Of course it will.
It's going to go down.
No, it's going to go... It'll go up. You're going up, it goes up.
It goes up, but what I'm saying is it's still beneath you. You're getting higher up above it, so it goes down and up, dude. It goes down and up, Zanuck.
The convergence of the hallway will be above. If the convergence of the hallway is half the distance of the ceiling to the ground, it'll be 5 feet high. That's where the convergence always will happen. 5 foot above the ground. If you're below 5 feet above the ground, it will be above you. Yes. If you go up, I guess it'll go down. You're going up.
Oh.
It goes down.
Wow. So what I've been saying the whole time is true. So can we move on?
No. You're not saying that though. I'm saying if you knew the horizon, if it was above you to begin with, but the horizon was not above you. It never was above you to begin with. It always was at eye level or close to eye level from the very, very ground, and it goes down as you go up. Opposite.
Yeah, because you're getting higher above the ground.
Yes, but then we see the sun being beyond it. If the sun is beyond it and level is above the sun, that doesn't make any sense in your logic at all.
What are you not understanding? Based on your vanishing point, that's where you see the sunset.
No.
Oh my
your
God!
Your vanishing point is at eye level, not where the sun sets.
No. Where the sun appears to set is dependent upon your vanishing point.
No.
Are you saying the sun doesn't set on the horizon?
It does, but that's not the vanishing point.
The horizon is the vanishing point.
No, because you can see farther, because you can see the sun above it.
Okay, let me try and explain this to you for like the 100th time.
Vanishing point.
The sun's above the ground. It moves further. Listen. The sun's above the ground.
With it. You see a blinking light 250 miles away. That's the horizon. You see nothing past that blinking light, and the sun is at eye level as you're flying, and the sun continues to go below your eye level and down toward this green light and then set behind it. Now, in order for it to be at your vanishing point, that green light would have to be equal to the sun, but it's not, because you saw it beforehand. And it's
so is the light closer or further away than the sun?
What is the light closer or further away than the sun? What?
It's closer. You view the light closer than the sun
than
sets.
The blinking light, much closer.
Oh, the sun's closer than the blinking light.
No, the blinking light is much closer.
Okay, exactly.
And
you're just getting dismantled right now, and you have no idea. You're oblivious to it.
No, because the sky meets the surface right at the blinking light.
No, it doesn't actually meet. It appears to meet because of your vanishing point or your limit of perspective. And when the sun gets further, I'm going to explain it one last time to you thoroughly, Zanuck. As the sun gets further, it's above the earth, okay? As it gets further and further away from you, it reaches the vanishing point. That is called the horizon. That's why the sun appears to set on the horizon, because it gets further enough away from you to where it reaches the vanishing point.
You're not thinking this through. You're not thinking.
Does the blue sky actually meet the blue ocean? Did they actually meet ever?
That's the idea of a horizon. Beyond that point, you get obscurity. Things beyond that blue ocean are obscure, and all you see is the sky behind it.
He asked you if they ever actually meet.
They don't physically actually meet. But
so it's just an appearance, right?
What's that?
It's just apparent location then, right?
It's an apparent meeting of the sky.
It's a vanishing point, right?
But the point is, it's beneath.
It's not a vanishing point.
The horizon is a vanishing point.
It's not the vanishing point.
So you can't see things that are 0.02 degrees in angular size.
Wait, I want to know how the horizon is not the vanishing point.
because the horizon is not the vanishing point, because the horizon, we see the blinking light, and it's right at the horizon.
Well, I can see a boat.
Right at the horizon.
Hold on. Let me finish. I'm almost done. We see the blinking light, but just above it, we see the sun very clear, and it's still the same angular size it's been all day long, a half a degree, and it's bright. We can't even look at it, it's so bright. So we see the horizon.
Actually,
not the vanishing point. Hold on.
Because they're
Hold on. We see the blinking light close to our vanishing point, but it is the horizon, and the sun is above that, many, many times further away. And it's below your level. So if you had a vanishing point, it would be at eye level. So that's not the vanishing point.
So do I need to cite that the vanishing point's the horizon? Do I need to cite it?
The horizon is not the vanishing point. Again.
Well, looks like you're wrong again. What a shocker.
No, because you can still make out the sun.
Not the vanishing point.
Still see the sun. How can it be the vanishing point? If you can still see the sun, how is it the vanishing point?
What? Say again?
If you can still see the sun behind it, just further away, how is that the vanishing point?
The sun starts to disappear on the horizon.
Before it disappears. We see the horizon below the sun.
Yeah, you can see further when something's higher in the sky.
Listen, again, you're confusing it. We see the horizon, we see the sun, and then we see level. In that order. So the vanishing point is at eye level. Below that, we see the sun clear as day, and below that, we see the sky meeting the surface beneath you, and we see the green light.
Do you ever see the sun beyond the horizon?
Miles away. It's 250 miles away. It's not the vanishing point.
Can you see the sun through the horizon?
What's that?
Can you see the sun through the horizon?
No, the horizon means.
Oh, so then the sun disappears at the same vanishing point as the horizon then?
It's not a vanishing point.
So can you see the sun through the horizon?
No, you're getting it wrong.
Thank you. You conceded. Thanks again.
Is the horizon physical?
Why is half of the sun disappearing at the horizon, not the other half? Are they different distances?
The horizon is an optical effect of a vanishing point when you reach your limit of perspective. This is based on your distance above the Earth, the atmospheric conditions. When the sun gets too far away, it disappears at the vanishing point.
The refractive limit is the vanishing point, and that should be at eye level only.
Okay, Mr. Think that we're falling backwards watching a sunset. I just now linked higher education telling you're an idiot, and the horizon is the vanishing point. So,
Witsit, if I see the sunset and I see half of the sun obscured and half missing, how is it that the part that's missing is at the vanishing point and the part I see is not?
Dude.
Especially when they're both, especially when they're both below level.
This is wild.
It is wild.
I just linked an article from a university that says you're wrong, and you haven't even read it yet. You're just still arguing.
I'm wrong. None.
Oh, all parallel lines meet at the same vanishing point. This is defining the horizon.
No.
Okay, so how about you read it then?
You're interpreting it wrong. Words have meaning and definitions have context. You got them both wrong.
Oh, so you haven't read it, but you know I'm wrong.
I have read it.
Oh, really? You have read it?
Yes.
Okay, what's it say?
I've read your idea that you've put up from some website about parallel lines meeting a vanishing point, which is true, but it's got to be horizontal to.
No, it's about the horizon.
The horizon, not
vanishing point is an art term. It's not a term of science. It's art. We're not talking about art here.
I just now linked a higher university telling you about the horizon and vanishing point. Maybe you should read it.
Vanishing point. You know why?
Okay,
you
well
know
maybe
this?
you should read it.
I'll tell you with it real simply. I'll tell you why you know this. You can see this oil platforms that are starting to be obscured by the horizon, and then you can see beyond that because you can see the island behind it. So if it was a vanishing point, you wouldn't be able to see the island behind it.
Obscured by curvature or horizon? Which one?
Curvature. Curvature creates a horizon, and nothing behind it is seen because it is being obscured by the curvature.
Wait, I thought you said we could see behind the horizon, though.
Yeah.
We can see behind it.
You can see the top of the oil platform behind the horizon.
Stop it. You wouldn't be able to see the island behind it. You can see the island behind something that actually has been obscured by the horizon. So wrong with it.
Okay, but it's higher than the actual appearance of convergence, right? Like we're talking about what's standing and looking out. We have a vanishing point. That's the horizon. You can't see at that elevation any further than that. Now, if you get
explaining, it's It's not the vanishing point.
You can't see anything past that elevation.
They call it curvature, right?
Yeah, but of course it's not because it constantly fluctuates, and that disproves the physical claim.
Exactly. If you want to prove what that curvature really looks like and where that horizon actually
you have no idea what it looks like. It doesn't exist.
Hear me out. Hear me out. All you need to do is a series of tests. If you know how refraction works, take measurements of that position and go up in elevation and different points, and you will get different readings for that horizon if it is being refracted. Then you take the mean of those measurements and you can find out where it actually is.